All right, yeah, okay, so it can be seen now, at least in the chat. So but you're gonna have a delay
Okay, that's
because if,
fine.
if you look at the chat, you ain't gonna. I'm surprised you can't see it
I can see it now. I
on your
see
Zoom
it
screen. On your
on
Zoom?
my Zoom screen. Yeah, it
Okay.
says 5 minutes,
Oh yeah,
start
yeah,
timer, stop sharing timer display. Yeah, I see it.
yeah. Okay, so did you want to go ahead with your 5 minutes?
Okay, so
Hold on,
um
and let me start. All
mhm.
right, go.
Okay, so we had a debate the other night, which was the audio was absolutely horrible. I you know we had to keep that one private because I just it just wasn't good for the people to listen to in my eyes. So in that debate, we initially began to agree, but then we had some sort of dissension, and the dissenting arguments came basically with the fact that you were postulating that the biggest threat to Black America now were tethers, right? Were these outside blacks, okay, not FBAs, but these outside blacks who are coming in and basically trying to usurp our position while they usurp benefits and funding and quote unquote the fight for reparations from us, okay, when we have a distinct unique history. And while I do agree that there are tethers who are trying to do that and trying to basically displace us and usurp us and look down upon us, and I don't agree with them for doing that, I believe the dissension came in because I believe that the quintessential factor dividing us is still white supremacy. Okay. So that was my point of view. And that was the basis from which I was arguing, is that, even they act at the behest of white supremacy. Even they are funded by actors in the white supremacist diaspora, right? Because the true beneficiaries of our, destruction are still white white supremacists, the enemy, the elite, whatever you want to call them. They are the true beneficiaries. They might pay these immigrant actors to and give them platforms to denigrate us and disrespect us, but they're the ones doing the paying. They're still paying them because they have a vested interest in making sure that we are denigrated, that we are disrespected. So they are the primary actors. They make the most money off of us still. They have the still have a vested interest in keeping us subjugated. They benefit the most from our subjugation, and they are the ones who are pushing throughout the world this image of black people to the other black nations of the world, right? That we are this lazy, unfit, recalcitrant, subprime type race. Okay. And they do it because they want to be able to control the narrative of us, yes, but they also do it because they want us to appear as if we are in this condition and we got in this condition all by ourselves. They do not want to accept responsibility and culpability for the rules, laws, policies, and programs that they put into place to ensure the destruction of FBAs, to ensure that we remain at the bottom of the diaspora, to ensure that we are leading in every statistical indicator, whether that be having the worst incarceration rate, murder rate, divorce rate, abortion rate, et cetera, et cetera. So they basically have us right where they want us, which is filling prisons, killing each other, buying Gucci, and killing our babies in abortion facilities to create their population control agenda. Um, and they basically have us right where they want us. Okay, and every time any ideal or movement or group comes up to raise the fortunes of black people as a whole, the primary ones shooting that down, the primary ones that are vilifying, ostracizing, and destroying those movements are the actors in white supremacy. Sure, they might have some house Negroes. Sure, they might have some token Negroes. Sure, they might use the foreign blacks to disrespect the argument and the fight of us as ADOS, as freedmen, as FBAs, but they are still the primary actor in the entire situation. So that's my argument fundamentally, and that's what I'm here to prove tonight.
20 seconds more.
I got 20 seconds. Oh, I thought
Yeah.
it said I'm at 0. So yeah, so that's what I'm here to prove tonight.
Oh, maybe you are. I'm sorry. I'm reading I'm looking at the uh
Yeah,
the YouTube, which is a 20-second delay.
I'm on the Zoom. So
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool.
so should I go extra 20 seconds in the future?
No, no. No, I just wasn't
You know me, I want extra time, extra time. Let me
all
stop.
right, so hopefully you guys can hear audio. All right. So matter of fact, I would know in a second. Okay, so I'm gonna start my clock. And you said that I believe me, singular, right? Let me start my timer. You said, and if my audio doesn't play, then I'm gonna just stop and just do it without the audio. All right, so you said I, like the singular me, have a think tethers are our biggest threat. I wouldn't say biggest threat, but I will say enough of a threat to get in our way. We don't need anybody stopping our momentum. Nobody. We can't afford anybody in our way. Not one extra person. Okay, so now let me go on and play this to show you I'm not by myself.
Let me play this clip about this white man up in here kind of thanking the divestors. And I think this guy is a cop. Now listen to this conversation. Over 8 or 10 cars that you cop to each car, it's not enough because they come out of the woodwork. They're taking a mob. That's not you and
I can't hear it. I'm sorry.
Let me see if I had to play back. I think it's playing back. Hold on. All right. So maybe I gotta just stop. Okay, maybe I just gotta I
I
can't share
heard
this.
I
I,
heard it at first, but then it just
yeah.
faded out.
Okay, so I can't share the screen. And so what I'm gonna do is this. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just do a manual 5-minute clock on my iPad, and I'm gonna play the video. So I can't share the clock screen and play audio, I'm guessing. All right. So I'm gonna just start now, right now.
let me play this clip about this white man up in here kind of thanking the divestors. And I think this guy is a cop. Now listen to this conversation. Over 8 or 10 cars that you cop to each car, it's not enough because they come out of the woodwork. They're taking a lot. That's not you and it's going to get out because if I stay so the white man is up here thanking the bed wenches and divestors for shitting on black men. So the white man is like, hey, thank you guys, because if I say it, I'm going to be a racist. So thank you.
Okay, so that's one case in point. It ain't just me. You got white men, white supremacists themselves, white race soldiers themselves thanking these foreigner, what Tariq called bed wenches, for shitting on black.
I'm so sorry. Can you replay that about a minute or so? Because I just got kicked off the meeting trying to access my camera, so
Oh,
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry. Not to cut you off.
okay. Dang. All right. All right. Start my time or right now.
Play this clip.
Mm.
Up in here, kind of thanking the divestors, and I think this guy is a cop. Now listen to this conversation. Over 8 or 10 cars, 50 cops in each car. It's not enough because they come out of the woodwork. You guys are taking a lot of people with you. That's not you, and that makes sense. Now, if I stay, so the white man is up here thanking the bed wenches and divestors for shitting on black men. So the white man is like, "Hey, thank you guys." You know,
So I'm not by myself. You got a white supremacist race soldier, and a lot of them, I got more than this, are thinking and some complaining, why are these black foreigner immigrants voluntarily shitting on FBAs for no reason? And another caller was like, why? Like, are you trying to get in good with us? Okay, so they're doing a bit of the white supremacy, and that's just as much of a threat. Here you go, Yvette.
I don't know why I'm having such a problem hearing these clips.
All right, I think,
Should I open up YouTube?
hold on. Let me see if I can hear it in the playback. Hey, chat, can y'all hear? All right, so what I probably gotta do is, let me see if the chat can hear. Because maybe the stopwatch is like killing the audio connection. Oh yes, okay, so they can't hear it either. So I think it's the stopwatch feature, and I'm just gonna use my all right. Okay, so yeah, I think it's the new feature. So let me just get rid of that. And I gotta figure out how to share audio with that feature. Okay, because nobody heard it. You or the
Yeah,
chat. Oh,
yeah.
what it did? The reason why nobody heard it because, yeah, I guess when I shared the clock, it unselected the share sound button. Because just now I went to share my screen and the share sound feature came back up. Okay, so now here is the problem now. I had got rid of that clip, I believe. I clicked it off. All right. Let's see if I can quickly find it. Yeah, so that's my fault for not getting home early enough to,
Get the technicals.
yeah, do sound checks with this. All right. So hopefully it's on this channel. Of course it wouldn't be. I hate stuff like this. I'm like a perfectionist. All right. Okay. This might want to call me. All right. Okay, so I got the video back. Okay, let me know if you can hear this before I get started.
It's going to get out because if I say anything,
Was that
Yeah,
clear?
I can hear that now.
Okay, cool. All right, so let me go back. And let me start the timer right. Is it commercial? Oh shit, hold on. Where is commercial? No, that's not a commercial. It made it go to the beginning. How about I say on that channel, I got premium. Okay, cool. Here we go. Got it. All right, let's start the timer right now.
And you guys are taking the heat that a lot of people wouldn't. And you know, hats off to you, and keep it up, because that's the only way it's gonna get out. Because if I say anything, you know, you guys have said it, I'm just a racist, and
He
get
just
the fuck
a
out of here, you know.
racist.
So the white man is up here thanking the bed wenches and divestors for shitting on black men. So the white man is like, hey, thank you guys, you know, because if I say it, I'm going to be a racist. So
Okay, so the reason why I say that they have become a threat in the way or in place of white supremacists, because they are literally taking the position of white supremacists. They are still in their talking points, and they're out here using their powerful social media platforms to spew this anti-FBA ADOS hatred before the world. Okay, so the white man, the white racist soldier was thanking them for saying it on his behalf, because if he says it, he'll be outed and things, or called out, things like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you Queen's Flip interviewing Yvette Carnell.
ADOS. Do you feel like I
Okay,
should
so by the way, he's not FBA ADOS. I don't know what country he's from, but he admitted that he's not one of us, and that's how the conversation is actually going.
like I should mind my business?
I feel like you're not entitled to an uninformed opinion.
Okay, and that's how I feel about these black immigrants. They're not in they it's not only mind their business, but their uninformed opinion is not well appreciated.
Right? So it's not saying that you should necessarily, you can't come out in the middle of a podcast and be like, listen, ain't nobody gonna get no money. Adolf, where my camera at? We ain't gonna get nothing. You hear me, y'all? Hear me, y'all? Everybody don't get nothing. I feel like when you do that, you put it right here. I feel like all the little red dots on you when you do that.
Okay, so she acknowledges that when they step in the way and speak for white supremacy, we attack them no different. Okay, so she was articulating that to them in their face, right? So now, why do they do this? What is the incentives of coming out here shitting on FBAs? Why do black immigrants do this? Okay, so I got 2 minutes and 26 seconds.
I think what happens with a lot of conservatives, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen with liberals too, it's just different. The bag is different. I think a lot of conservatives realize the more I punch on ADOS people, because I don't know what Candace on is. She said she was Caribbean. I don't know what she is. But the more I punch on these people, the higher my paycheck is. I think that's what they know. I think it was on your show when y'all was on the pod. Y'all talked about what her tiers are. She got a 250 tier or whatever.
She does.
I think if you wanna be a conservative, if you want to be a black conservative, it's an easy road to $1 million, and that's an easy road to $5 million. Right. And so I think what Candace Owens is doing, I don't think she had any. She used to be in the NAACP. And
so not just conservatives, because you see people like the Shade Room, Q, World Star Hip Hop, DJ Academics, all of them are successful and rich because they shitted on FBA's ADOS. So I'm not sure she's aware of who those people even are, because she's more of a politician. So she's gonna speak on people that's in that realm. That's a threat. Okay, and now I'm gonna point out this little fact right here.
I can't see the timer. Sorry.
It's easy to differentiate.
55 seconds.
Because pre-1965, black immigrants were to the right of the decimal point. There weren't a lot of them here.
Okay, so pre-1965, there weren't a lot of black immigrants here. I've been saying that.
It's very easy to differentiate. And I got a great chart for that too, if you want to see. But it's very easy to differentiate that, right? So
I just want to point out for later discussion that before 1965, there was a handful of black immigrants. As she's going to point out later, I got 24 seconds left, that black immigrants ain't coming to this country in large numbers and start populating until the late 90s. That's when they started making their presence known. Before then, it's like she said, they were to the right of the decimal. So these folks cosplay and step in the place of white supremacy, 5 seconds, they will be dealt like white supremacists, no different. That's my time.
Okay, yeah, I have no problem with dealing with them as enemies. I have no problem with us calling them out. I have no
Wait,
problem.
is that your time?
Is it my time?
Hold up. I'm trying to stop my time.
Oh,
But,
okay.
but did you hear the alarm just went off?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I
Well,
can't see the timer clock.
okay,
So
well you could set yours. So okay, so if you got a timer, we could press start at the same time. So you ain't gotta worry
no,
about.
no, no. I thought you was gonna say we was gonna have it on the screen.
Okay, did you see the problem with my audio when I put it on the screen?
Okay, well, I
Yeah.
trust you. I trust you. I
Yeah,
think
but the chat can too, because hey chat, if you guys got free time, I'm going to say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna hit the button to start the timer. But the first round was just like an introduction of where we going with it. So that's like 5 minutes, and then the rest of the rounds would be 2 minutes. And if he wants, he can ask a question, and I will have 1 minute to answer. And when I'm done answering, I got 2 minutes to rebut or finish a thought. However, I want to spend my 2 minutes. And when I'm done, I can ask him a question, and he has 1 minute, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay. And if the time is just too fast, then we could add some more time to it. But let's first try it like that.
I pulled
And
a timer up so as well. So
all right,
just
cool.
tell me when to start, and then
All right, okay. So again, I'm gonna count down from 5. Not now, but I'm letting you know I'm gonna do. Okay. Okay. So let me put this in any videos you want me to share. You could do that, and you see it's gonna count in your time like I did mine. I didn't stop my time to show the videos. All right. Anyway, so I'm back to the screen. All right. 5, 4, 2 minutes. 3,
2 minutes.
yeah.
All right.
So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so as I said, I agree that these people are shills, and I agree that these people are a threat to us as a people. These people who are being propped up for the agenda of desensitizing the world to our oppression and invalidating our argument and our fights here in the country. I totally agree that these people are a problem. My thing is that this is not a new tactic of white supremacy. They do it all the time. They do it with women from the news like El King and different ones where they have them come up and basically trash black people all throughout, their news programs. They do it with rappers, okay? Rappers, the easy way to $1 million is to get up there and basically denigrate the race, denigrate our women, and guide us towards criminality, hypersexuality, spending a whole bunch of money on Gucci and Louis and whatever new licks. Hey guys, I'm on the phone. Whoever the new liquor brand that they have at the time. So it's easier to put a black face up there to disrespect us. It's easier to put a black face up there to invalidate our fight. And they do that not just with the immigrant society, although they're using them. That's their new tactic, to use them. But they also do it with, like I said, with the rappers, with the news artists. This is not this is conservative commentators, liberal commentators. They get up there, they pay these people money to be black faces for white talking points, okay, and to basically disrespect us. And with a black face on it, they'll have a little bit more credibility and a little bit less backlash, if you will,
Time.
right?
Time. So well, you don't have to ask a question, but did you want to ask a question or not? I'll just start my time.
No, not right now. You can go ahead.
Okay. So he phrased it as they're paying, they're setting these people up. You got to source up on that because nobody paid academics. That's something he wanted to do. When you read Q's story, how he did World Star Hip Hop, nobody paid him. That's what he did, and it became successful, shitting on black folks. So, what a lot of these black immigrants and just non-FBAs, period, it could be white supremacy, doesn't matter. What they all realize is that if they just go out and just do it, the money will come. He's trying, Focus is trying to position the money is there in advance, dangling in your face. I'm saying you got to prove that. What I'm saying is from their own mouths. When DJ Academics did this Chirac story on Chicago gang wars, you got to show me somebody invested money in them because from what he said, he did it and the money came. Q started World Hip Hop, the money came. The Shade Room was created and the money came. Secure, all these different anti-black, anti-FBA, anti-ADOS social media platforms to show us in a white supremacist, scientific racism, negative light came from these folks from their own heart. It stems from their country. They admitted themselves that they watch movies. Somehow they blame it on movies as though they're little kids. And then they say the others that don't use that excuse say their mothers taught them, right, before they even came over here, how to stay away from the Akatas or the Yankees. So this is not a white supremacist uh, payroll that, looking to hire these folks. These folks are coming out here with their tails wagging, hoping that this stuff will catch fire and get a bag from it later. And it's not just white supremacy paying them, it's also black immigrants who feel the same way about us paying them. So I just want to clear that up real fast. That's my time.
Okay, so
Wait. We got to start your time. Okay, so
ready,
you ready?
set, go.
Go. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I was speaking from the premise that Yvette was speaking from when she said it was a fast track and a fast road to $1 million. That's the premise that I was speaking from initially, right? That these people, whether they get the money pre or post, they know that it's the fast track to $1 million. And then furthermore, first of all, when these rappers come up, they see their predecessors making money off this degradation. So whether they get the check first or not, their intentions is to eventually get a check off the degradation. Same with the newscasters. They know in order for them to be successful in that space that they will have to denigrate and disrespect black people and not stand for black black or stand on black code. Same thing with politicians. They make concessions and they get up there on these platforms and they in an effort to eventually gain the bag, they stay on code with the disrespect from disrespecting of our people. And then I will also say this: once you know that this lane, if you will, is profitable, and once you create the climate for it, you'll be able to produce these type of individuals all the time. Once people know that this is the type of newscaster, politician, rapper, or whatever the case may be, immigrant, DJ Academics, this is the type of person that I need to be in order to get the bag. I can't get the bag if I stand on black issues. I can't get the bag if I stand for black people. Then you'll be able to produce these type of individuals in surplus, and then you'll be able to just pick and choose which ones you want to give a platform to.
Time. Okay. So now my time is gone. All right. So here's a problem. Okay.
Your time is going now?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
So here's the problem. I'm FBA. FBA business, FBA business, Jamaican business is Jamaican business, Mexican business is Mexican business. Okay, I got no right to look across the waters to what's going on in Mexico, coming into their argument late, that the differences they're having amongst themselves, coming into their land, right? Either internet or actually coming to Mexico to immigrate. I got no right, and and FBA would never do this. Come over there and start getting to their political business or seeing how they're being, they got classism and they're disrespecting each other. Then I come over there and join the bandwagon. Okay, that is the ultimate disrespect. because I have no ties to Mexico. I have no dog in the fight. I have no relatives. There's no blood, sweat, tears, nothing. I'm a foreigner coming in, leeching on, and trying to suck up resources at the expense of their image. So that is no excuse. So if FBAs do with FBAs, that's an inside thing, right? Nobody has the right to be on the outside, come in, and then shit on us. And then when we decide to delineate, or Yvette says disaggregate, then they would charge us with being decisive and causing division because we're stopping them from shitting on us. Like he just articulated eloquently. He said that the bag is shitting on us. Okay, but that's double times worse when another people comes over and do it as we do it ourselves. That's natural for gays to call each other certain type of foul names, or Jewish people or Irish people call each other wops and doggos. That's natural. That's between them. But what's unnatural is an outside group to stick their head in and start calling them the same offensive terms. That's the problem. All right. So your time, you ready to start your time?
Hold on one second, because I started
Okay.
a little late. All right, ready to go now. Okay, so I think we're in a unique position here for a couple of reasons. First of all, the resources lie here. Okay, so they would have more of a vested interest coming here than we would have going over there because the resources don't lie there. Second of all, this is the seat of power, of white supremacist power, that will be doing the paying for them. So that's another reason they have a more of a vested interest in coming here, right? Because they want to kowtow to the seat of power, and this is where the seat of power exists. Furthermore, in light and in spite of that, we do have, certain examples of Black people fighting for, the freedoms and the rights of people from these distinct different nations and countries. Yes, with regard to their connection with America, but nonetheless, we're still fighting for them. We have a great example of that with immigration, how Black people are championing the cause for these immigrants and saying they have a tough life over there and they need to be able to come over here and immigrate freely and blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. So we do have examples of Black people going to fight for them. Now you'll get no contention from me that they don't have the right to come over here. You get no contention from me to say that they don't have the right to come sticking their nose in our business, which is why even in our previous debate, I concede that it is important for us to delineate. It is important for us to have a distinction between us and them so that we can know what is for us and what is owed to us, as opposed to letting people just come in freely and willy-nilly and basically eat off of our subjugation, oppression, and our plight, right? So that's how I feel about that. My time is up.
Okay, I'm gonna start mine right now. Okay, so that talking point or the idea of us caring about Black immigrants coming over here, that was a hell of a shitty plan. Dr. Claude Anderson pointed that out way back in 2001. And when you say we, was it really we? Because from history, the only people to fight for immigration was immigrants. Okay, there's no record of, wait, it's my time. Oh, he's in the background. Yeah, so that was their immigrants fought for immigration. We fought for civil rights for Negroes, Black Americans, who we call FBAs and ADOS. We didn't fight for immigration during those 100 years of being locked out of America's wealth. That was not our fight. And when he say we was fighting for immigration today, no, because a lot of those Stokely guys, these guys were immigrants. So yeah, and even then, like I said, that immigration never benefited us. It always sabotaged what we had going on, and it was an excuse for white supremacy to never do us right. So every time they did us wrong and it was due for compensation, they would just influx or flood America with more immigration, open up the doors. Every time they did us wrong and we're looking for compensation, when they admit they did us wrong and when it's time to pay up, right? They would add or flood America with more immigrants to undermine us and pretty much smother our claims. Because when they come over here, they're not saying, "Oh, what are you saying, FBAs? Oh, yeah, that's wrong." No. They're saying they got their hand out like, "Yo, help me," to white America, help me. So that idea that we was trying to look out for them, nope. Those are immigrants looking out for them, cosplaying as FBAs, and even till now, we're saying hold your own nuts as far as that. We are not right, especially right now, 2025. We are not with the immigration thing. Go ahead.
You ready? I'm gonna start. Okay, so you'll find no dissension or disagreement with me that immigration negatively and adversely affects Black people and Black people fortunes. Fact about it, I actually agreed with Trump when he said this wave of illegal immigrants would actually be taking Black jobs. I don't think that that was a bad statement or negative statement at all. I actually think they do take Black jobs because they're sent to our cities under the guise of them being sanctuary cities. And these cities are already starved for resources, yet they send them to us to pay for all of this immigration, and they displace us in the business world and in our living and everything else. But I think that that point of view was incongruent with the point that I was making, which is that we can find examples of Black people, FBAs, if you will, fighting for other nations and their plight, if you will. Okay, and the immigration. I disagree with you. Look, we voted 92% Democrat as females this election. We voted 78% Black, 78% as males, Black males for Democrats. Okay, and then the immigration policies that Trump enacted almost immediately, you'll see Black people at the forefront of that, okay? Acting as though, this is some sort of pejorative for Black people. So no, I disagree with that. I think Black people do have examples of fighting for others around the world, and going there and trying to, rectify things, that may been, done mistreated. Look, even Yvette herself says that we support, CARICOM and these different things. So, go ahead. My time is up. Go ahead. Hello? Are you muted? I can't hear you. I can't hear anything going on right now. Hello? I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on, but I can't hear anything. I don't hear any response from you.
Oh, this damn mute button.
I told you your mute was on.
I always sit on it. Ah, gosh, it pisses me off, man. This
All right.
wireless microphone.
Yeah,
Okay.
restart your
All right.
time.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. I'm laying on top. Okay, let me press start right now. Okay, as far as Yvette Carnell, you might have misunderstood her. When she was in an interview with Queen's Flip, he asked her what she thought about CARICOM. She said, "That's not for me. That's for you." So when you say support, we support by not getting in the way. But we're damn sure not going to research CARICOM and start fighting for you. So that's what she did to him. I could play that clip. She said, "No, you tell me about CARICOM. That's your thing. Our thing is what we got going over here at ADOS and FBA." So nah, that's their fight. And again, you're saying Black people fought for immigration. I'm saying those Black people were immigrants. Okay, because that's what immigrants do. They fight for immigration. And what we do is we get out of the way and we let them fight for immigration. We fight for civil rights. We fight for equality. We fight for the things that we are coming up short receiving in this country that's promised to us as American citizens. So their immigration fight is on them and our civil rights fight is on us. This is why they don't join us. And typically we don't join them. Okay. And if you're talking about some we are the world stuff, That was an idea from Garvey that Yvette touched on. If I have to play that too, I got to play it. That was her main problem with Pan Africanism. It didn't work. It was a failed dream. It was a dream, and as a result, like it poisoned the well, so to speak, where we have this Pan Africanist idea since that time all the way to now. Some of us, but it's a failed idea 100 years later, and we're still nowhere. That was 1914 UNIA. We're at 2025, 111 years later, and nobody's still back to Africa. Nobody's been trying, and nobody from Africa is even. There's no website, there's no organization, nobody's from Africa with that shit. It's just a farce, a dream that people just don't want to give up. Just another fairy tale myth. So no, FBAs and ADOS, we are about rights, civil rights, American rights, immigration. That's for immigrants.
Okay, let me get my timer ready. All right, ready? Go. So the reality of the matter is, what I was careful, baby. What I was speaking to was a video, not your video, but a video called "Reparations in a Transformative Agenda" by Yvette Carnell. And if you timestamp from 34:44 to 35:12, she actually does say that we support, the immigrants. I mean the CARICOM and their fight for reparations and reparations justice. Then she goes on actually to say to call for them to support us. She said, "I think we've always had our hand out for you guys. We've always been supporting you guys. It's time for you guys to support us." So not only does she call for support from the Caribbean, which is kind of contradictory to the idea that we never, either link with them or support them, but she actually says that we've supported them on a bunch of different occasions. So that's coming from Yvette Carnell herself. So the reality of the matter is, the only dissension that you have from me is the fact that, we do have examples of helping them in their fights throughout the world, darker peoples of the planet in their fight throughout the world. So I was just speaking to that point when you said, we'll never go over there and try to help them out. That's just patently incorrect. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, you find no dissensions from me when it comes to the fact that, our fight for reparations is our own fight, and that we kind of are in that on our own, and that these shields that are being propped up are being done so specifically to undermine our fight for what we are owed here in this country. And so yeah, you'll find no argument from me with that. But like I said, we do have examples of, okay, that's my time.
Okay, my time's starting now. No, we don't have any examples. And again, I already said what you meant by supporting, and you just sidestepped it. Like you were doing with Euro step. Okay, so let me show you what support is, what you're talking about. This is my channel, by the way. This reparations link right here. This is 2013, by the way, guys. I was on reparations before the ADOS, before there was a FBA and all that type of stuff. Okay, so this is Ray Winbush. I played this already. This is Dr. Arthur Lewis talking about global reparations, and this is Dr. Beckel speaking about CARICOM. So as you can see, that this is my channel. This is 2013. So this means by support. I was supporting them, but from afar. I didn't join none of their shit. I didn't have any CARICOM pay the Caribbeans. I supported by watching their videos, spewing some of their talking points, but things like that. But we did not join nothing they did and rally behind them for some type of CARICOM reparations for the Caribbean. What I say is our support is not getting in the way, and their support for us is not getting in the way. Now, of course, we can go the mile and walk the walk, but that's never happened. That's unlikely. And that's why she was saying, hey, you support us like we support y'all, meaning that we don't get in your way, and we pretty much parrot your talking points, supporting them by parroting their talking points and sharing their videos and uploading them like Unbiased Sports did 12 years ago. That's the type of support that we do for them that they don't do for us. So now reparations, brother, I need you to show us, if we did support them, show us the other side. Show us in 2025 how many Africans from the continent, how many Caribbeans, how many large platforms, even small ones that's out there supporting, just spewing, supporting as far as just talking good, like just mimicking, mirroring our talking points. How many channels you can find doing that? But you can find a hell host of FBA channels like myself who was spewing their talking points, uploading their videos, and sharing their videos. And that's my time.
Let me start. 1 second. Hold on. Give me 13 seconds because I started the timer a little late.
Yeah,
so let's see. Another 5 seconds, and then that'll be done. I want to start over from there. All right. Okay. So
wait, hold up. Add 1 more minute to it.
Add 1 more
Because,
minute.
yeah, because I think the wrapping around it came to an end. Now we're gonna slow it down a little bit. Okay, so one more minute.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Okay, so the very real fact of the matter is you spewing their talking points and uploading their videos and supporting them in that right is not getting out the way. That's you actively supporting them and actively trying to find, trying to aid and abet them in their fight for justice. Now, of course, we're going to do it from here because, as I said, this is where the resources lie. This is where the seat of power lies. We're already here, right? So, you don't have to go down there and get a CARICOM t-shirt. By you spreading the knowledge, by you spreading the video, by you spewing the talking points is an example in itself of Black Americans having support for CARICOM, okay? Not simply support by getting out their way, okay, but actually by getting into the fight, by getting into the discussion, by helping. And that's what Dr. Yvette meant, okay? She actually meant that we have supported them in many ways, whether it be through our videos, our talking points, our forums, whatever the case may be, that we have supported them. And then, as I said, she actually called for them to support us in our fight of reparation. So it's not just staying out the way. It's not what she said in that video, reparations, a transformative agenda. She actually called for them to aid and abet us in our fight for reparation. Timestamp 3444 through 3512. You can go look it up on your own. And the reality of the matter is, she not only did she call for them to aid and abet us, but she cited the fact that we have aided and abetted them, which you so eloquently just stated you've done on your in your very own videos. People help in different ways, and you were helping. As ADOS, as FBA, you were understood their fight. You understood the correctness of it, and it touched it resonated with you to the point where you yourself offered them aid and offered them support. You know what I'm saying? So that's, once again, just speaking to that particular point. But the reality of the matter is, they're not only not aiding and abetting us, but they're actually standing in our way. And that is a problem. Now, I never speak in absolutes, and I'm sure you can find plenty of Caribbean folk that do agree or resonate with the ADOS argument, especially in light of the fact that they have an argument of their own. We haven't talked to every one of them. So I don't speak in absolutes, especially acknowledging the fact that these people who do have arguments against us, like Lovey, okay, they're being propped up purposely.
Time.
Okay, go ahead.
Luckily, we got a smart chat because I said there's 2 ways to support. I said one way is staying out of the way, which you try to limit that. You try to remix my words. I said one way to support is just get out the way. Like, we don't need you spewing our talking points, and none of that type of stuff, wearing jerseys and cheerleading. And but if you were to do that, that is another level of support. That's the next notch up. I said that we got out of their way, right? We were not blocking them. We never did. And then we will go the extra mile like I did, and we will start. You see my screen right here, in case you couldn't see it before. The dates are here. So I'm 12 years. Yeah, I've been on YouTube for a long time. Okay, so it's 12 years in advance. So this is global this is island, and this is American. Okay, so you can see I got a lot other. I got Sister Soldier. I got some stuff for you here. I got a Rosewood. I got very up the time. I got a lot of stuff here. But anyway, but that's how far I go back. Now, now we get into like mystery land, like fairy tale land. And now we got these plenty. He used the word plenty. We got plenty of um Black immigrants who sides with FBA reparations. That's interesting because a sister just won an award. What's it, Joe Reed or whatever her name was, had won an award for coming over from Nigeria or wherever she's from with the NAACP for speaking against reparations. Queen's Flip spoke against reparations. DJ Academics and almost every uh Black immigrant that you know publicly, right? That has a large following or small, but publicly speaks against reparations. So you're not going to pull the wool over our eyes and say that all of a sudden got these phantom allies, right? We need to see in 2025, we need to see these, well, Godfrey, I give you Godfrey. Godfrey spoke in good light, but that's one too few. All right. We need the same energy like we had for them. But we don't want that energy. We don't need them at all. The zero. There's 43 million of us over here. There's about 1 million Nigerians over here. There's about 1 million Jamaicans, and I think 6 million or so Caribbean people total over here. So that 6 million to 43 million ain't gonna move the needle. Not much for more than what we did. We actually don't need their support at all. We just need them out of the way. So Yvette had a quote. She said, just because you're small enough, she said, just because your group is too small to help us, it doesn't mean you're too small to block us. Just because your group is too small to help us get the reparations doesn't mean you're not, just don't mean you're too small to block us. Here you go.
Okay, let me get my timer going on. Okay, once again, you don't have no contention with me that, you know, these people you know, have you know, blocked us and, you know, should be chastised as such. The point that I'm making is that I made was that I don't speak in absolutes. So I didn't say, we need to respect them too because they fighting for us. That's not what I said. I said I don't speak in absolutes. So I don't, in my rational mind, believe that there's not one Caribbean person, okay, that understands the distinction and delineation between us fighting for our reparations here in America, especially in light of the fact that they have CARICOM. That's what I said. Then I went further to say that the people that are being propped up, like Lovey, like these different tethers, if you will call them, are being propped up because they do not quote unquote aid us and abet us in our fight for reparations, a fight that the white supremacist power structure has a vested interest in making sure that we never see for many nefarious reasons of their own. So I never said, I'm not, I know you're trying to align me with the Tether Society, but I never, said that these, that there was plenty of people out here that's supporting us or whatever the case may be. With my point, and if I use the word plenty, I apologize, but my point is that I don't speak in absolutes. So I'm not going to say if you're a Caribbean American, you automatically don't believe in the fight for American reparation. I'm not going to say that because I don't speak in absolutes. So that's my point. Okay. So, that's all I'm saying. I do agree that there are plenty of Caribbean, if you will, tethers that are being propped up and plenty who simply believe, in reparations that they deserve reparations from America as well. And I disagree with them. I don't share their viewpoint. Okay. But I do, back to the other point about the support, I said as you so eloquently stated, you stated that you did support them. So, it's still congruent with my overall theme and Yvette's theme in the video that I just cited, okay, that we have helped them and aided them in their fight for reparations, and then she called on them to aid us in our fight for reparations. So that's the only contention that we have, is that the statement that you made saying, we don't have no history of going over there and trying to help them out, but they coming over here. That's all I was saying. Go ahead, it's your
Okay.
turn.
All right. So let me start. Okay, so he's saying he don't speak in absolutes like I do. So let's show you the difference between generalization and absolute. So I generalize, my brother. It means something is abroad or involves many things, right? So I'm speaking about what is. And I'm not saying it can never happen. Absolute means something is certain and will not change. I never spoke like that. Okay. I spoke as it is today. Right. So all this, I don't speak in absolutes, but you say but he charged me with aligning them with a tether argument doctrine, but he's trying to align me up with an absolute argument. Okay, so stop. Like, bro, you're talking to me. It's me. So that's not gonna work. So here's the facts. The facts is that Tethers didn't really express their hatred towards FBAs. We got the timeline. Okay, you don't see this uh explosion expression of Tethers hating on FBAs until ADOS was created about 7 years ago, 7 to 6 years ago. You do not see this outward disgusting expression of Tethers hating on us until ADOS was created. And when you know about ADOS, you will know Tethers was first trying to sneak in. And then when they was explained what ADOS actually meant, right? You have to have lineage going back to the 1870 century, at least one parent, and even sometimes before or shortly afterwards, sharecropping. So you got to experience something like that. One of your relatives got to go back that far. So once they knew that was the eligibility, they decided to change shift. Now they could have just supported us. Nope. What they did was they started getting away and explain on all their platforms how dumb reparations is, how far-fetched it is. And then they said we're begging. So they try to minimize it till we're begging. We got handouts. Why don't you just be successful like these few hundred Nigerians that were hyper selected by their own government because which caused a brain drain to their country. Why can't we be successful? Why can't 43 million FBAs, ADOS be as successful as 100 elitist Nigerians from their country? But the rest of the 240 billion are a bunch of, buffoons as far as IQ. Like they don't even have IQ over there. It's like 60 some shit. It's like low as hell. No, I'm sorry, it's 59. Okay, so these were all their talking points. And then now we start saying, hey, we watching movies, so this is why we think you're so stupid and murderers and robbers when you look at so that's movies, that's movies. But let's look at their reality. Their reality is that they are murderers, they are robbers, they are whoremongers, they don't get married, and they live in a shithole country. So it's so crazy how people can look overseas and point at people who are basically kings and queens to them and then try to find some mud to fling on them. So you're not gonna pull that small talk on me today.
Okay. Hold on, let me start my timer. Okay, so first of all, I never said that you were speaking in absolutes. What I said is I don't speak in absolutes. And I said I don't speak in absolutes because I was trying to make the point that my rational mind has to believe that they're in the 3 million Jamaicans and millions of people throughout the Caribbean and Africa, that there are individuals who understand the individual distinct fight for reparations that exists between each particular ethnic group or each particular country. That was the point that I was making. Now, you've had people like in 2015, for example, right? You had hundreds of reparation advocates that came from like 22 different countries, including representatives from CARICOM, okay? The CARICOM Reparations Commission. They all assembled in New York City, okay? And they assembled for an international reparations conference, right? And it was organized by U.S.-based Institute of the Black World 21st Century. Okay, so there is an example, okay, of people who are from different nations fighting for reparations. So you can't have the argument to say that people are fighting for reparations and they're trying to take what belongs to us, but then also have the argument to say that every single non-ADOS person is fighting to block reparations. It's just patently untrue. People are on both sides of the coin, and this conference, as well as as well as just plain ADOS talking points. Okay, how do you vilify people for coming over here trying to take part in our reparations and say it don't belong to you? You're trying to, tether yourself to our particular plight and get reparations. The brother Frederick Joseph, Tariq Nasheed fried him up. He said because he was mad because Frederick was talking about we all need reparations. We all need reparations for every black person, all of us globally. And Tariq fried him up. He's like, yo, ain't no globally. Don't be trying to add people to this. This is for us, such and such and so-and-so. So he's a Caribbean individual, right? And, and he is saying globally we need reparations. So you have these examples all throughout the reparation movement of people from other nations, if you will, tethers, if you'll call them, Caribbeans, Africans, who understand and agree and fight for the fight of reparation. So when you say things like, most of them coming over here to block it, it's just patently untrue. Now I do place a distinction, which others do as well, and who owes who what. But remember, the colonial powers conspired to underdevelop Africa. The colonial powers. Go ahead.
Okay. So now, chat, when he argues, I want you to listen to every last word he says, because all of it is misrepresenting me. I never said most came here to block. What's wrong with this guy? I don't look at all black immigrants as a tether. What's wrong with this guy? Tethers are immigrants, right? Non-FBAs, non-ADOS, who seek to undermine us. I never said the whole country of Nigeria seeks to undermine us. Never said the whole country of Jamaica. What's wrong with this guy? But again, he has to say that to try to get an edge. Listen, just respond to what I'm actually saying. So he mentioned international reparations in 2015. My boy, it's international reparations. So I showed you Dr. Ray Winbush, actually from New Jersey. I actually know his sons. They live near my city. Okay, the Winbush family. So this argument was in 2013. They started to co-opt it and start call for international reparations when Black FBA ADOS was just asking for American reparations. They try to co-opt it and say, hey, let's make it an international thing because they know they can't get shit popping off without involving us. Okay. And some of us actually fell for that. That's why it didn't really pop off until ADOS. Okay. So now he said, again, he keeps saying every single black immigrant. Never said that. I said tethers. So I got to define tethers again. Tethers is an immigrant. It could be black. It could be a white one. It could be a Chinese immigrant. Okay. And they all can be tethers when they get in our way and undermine us. Now you're undermining my argument by twisting my words and saying I said most and all this type of stuff. No, I said tethers. Tethers. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's again, that's not gonna work. So chat, when he goes to talk, listen to how poor his argument is. It's getting so poor where he got to remix my words and create a straw man, then argue against that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the obvious. What got in our way was tethers. Okay, when we kicked off ADOS, when they couldn't get involved and get a free handout, they decide tethers of the black immigrant class decided, or the race, the ethnic group decided to undermine us first by just speaking out against it, getting on platforms representing us, right, in these spaces, in these powerful political spaces. They're representing African Americans, you would call what we say FBAs, F and ADOS. They were representing us on record in Congress and other places saying, in different council meetings, saying, no, reparations is not needed. So they were getting ahead of us, representing us, misrepresenting us, I should say, and they were turning down reparations every chance they get. They even got a Puerto Rican guy. They got a Puerto Rican guy out there in New York who was on a dark skinned, Latino guy was speaking about reparations. And of course, he said no. Okay, that's what we call a tether. All right.
So we'll listen back to this. May have been confused at that point. I thought that the point that you were making was that they come over here and undermine us. You may have been talking about specifically the tether class, but I ask you, if the definition of tether, the way I look at the definition of tether is to either tie yourself to something or to tie an animal or whatever to something to restrict his movement. So is the tether class strictly immigrants, or do we have, many examples of FBAs, if you will, okay, ADOS, if you will, also experience, exemplifying tether behavior. Okay. So, is it just them that you have a problem with, or do you have a problem also with the foundational Black Americans, not the movement, but the people who aren't immigrants that also restrict our movements? Okay. Can a Black person with lineage through to back to slavery be a tether too? Or do we have a different term for that? I don't know. You can educate me on that. Okay. You call them maybe they're coons. Okay. I don't know. But the reality of the matter is, the point that I'm making, and you can use all the ad hominems and whatever you want, but the point that I'm making, it still remains, and it still remains intact. And that is that, we have, aided and abetted them through whatever means we could or we did at the time, in their fight. And, as I said, Dr. Yvette, she called on them to aid us as well. You know what I'm saying? So like, the reality of the matter is, as I said, I don't speak in absolutes. I can't believe that there's never been an individual of Caribbean descent that just didn't understand the fight, the distinct fight for where each reparation should come from. Okay. I just can't believe that, So, like I said, they have their fight. They know who, colonized them. They understand who owes them reparations. And, the French owe Haitians reparations and whatever the case may be. But Black people throughout the world are owed reparation. You can't say that they're not. Okay. We've all been underdeveloped. We've all been undermined. We've all been, disenfranchised and destabilized on purpose. Okay. So, the reality of the matter is, we can have our distinct fight for the United States of America to pay our reparation, but the world owes the darker nations of the planet reparations too. The colonial powers owe the darker peoples of the world reparations.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. I started mine's late. We are the world. We are. That's how he sounds. Okay, dude, there's a bunch of different governments responsible for different things in different Black countries across the world. We don't have time. First of all, look where we're getting at in our own reparations case in America. Look how long this is taking. Dr. Clark Anderson brought this idea 2001. I showed you Ray Winbush in 2013. I actually own his book. Okay. And then I show you Eugene Beckles and the Arthur Lewis guy. Bro, everybody got to deal with their own government. So for us, it could take as long as it needs to. All right. Because matter of fact, it's not even enough of us on board to be spreading ourselves thin. That's just foolish. So everybody needs to respond to their own government and make a claim and get people to rally behind the claim, their own people to rally behind the claim. And if people from across seas want to help, go ahead. So when I said they, brother, that was tethers. Okay, just let you know going forward. And now you just gave your own personal definition of tether. That was cute, but that's invalid. Is null and void. There's a definition already for tethers. Tariq made the word up, and there's a definition behind it. Queen Flip asked Yvette Carnell the definitions of it. She said, "Hey, that's not my word. That's Tariq said, she word." So everybody know that's his word, tether, and he has his own definition. The definition is exactly what I said earlier. Is an immigrant who undermines FBA's ADOS attempts to at progression. They're definitely seeking reparations and anything progressive. You get in our way, you slow our momentum, you're a tether. Okay. So now the opposite for that for one of us, bro, why you worry about us? That's the old what about Black on Black crime? Don't worry about us. It's not about us right now because not enough of us is stopping us, and not enough of us is purposely trying to stop us. If there's a coon out there, he's a coon, most likely unknowingly, and the opposite word of tether for us is coon. by the way. So again, that's already a word that's defined. So we're not worried about coons because there's not enough of them in America. And guess what we do when we see one? We call them out publicly. That's what we do. We call our coons out publicly. Everybody knows Jesse Lee Peterson is a coon. Now you keep saying this again, chat. Listen to his argument. He keeps saying you're trying to say there's not one. So now he's being absolute for me, the straw man. I just said Godfrey. I just named one. So why is he still searching for one for me? You're trying to say I can't believe there's not one. I said Godfrey's one. Is this guy crazy? So now the FBA defensive unit, this channel was to speak for Yvette the things she can't say. So yeah, a lot of things she's going to say in the microphone is going to be politically correct. I just explained it. I said it's our job to get messy, hold the line while they stay pretty. All right. So blacks deserves reparation globally. Cool, cool. So what? I don't care. I'm only focused on us first. You remember them first, us first. That's all that matters right now.
Okay, and I have no problem with that. I actually said that in many of my initial arguments that charity begins at home and then spreads abroad. So it's we have no problem, no quarrel with me with trying to gain what we need, for reparations here in America. Now, you can say, that that's all you're worried about or whatever. That's fine. That can be all you're worried about. My position is that we should be worried about that primarily. But I'm just of the mind that unity is a force in itself, okay, and that unity, uniting the darker peoples of the planet, you know, should be on an agenda for us because the colonial powers were united in underdeveloping us. They were united in subjugating us. They were united in displacing us. They were united in their conquest of us and their genocide of us. They were united in that. You had Belgium, you had France, you had Britain, you had America, who were aligned. They carved up Africa crazy. Even China was involved in carving up Africa crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but the reality of the matter is, there's you have no quarrel with me with us, focusing and fighting on the reparations for us here as a people, and for not allowing anybody to gain or receive reparations, from what is owed to us. Okay, now they also have things owed to them. That's fine. I don't see a problem with a coalition. I don't. I mean, I think we should be fighting for our reparations. We should be, but I don't see a problem with us uniting with the darker peoples of the planet, in a coordinated effort and in the unified front and the unified force to, get, what we're deserved from, all the people on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the fact that you had many of them here now trying to co-opt the movement, different immigrants and different things like that. I think it would actually be a smart, strategy for us to align to a degree to say, look, these people owe you that, these people owe you this, these people owe you that. We're gonna have a global strike, if you will. You know what I'm saying? I don't see a problem with that. Now you may see a problem with that, and that's fine. That you're entitled to your own opinions, and as well as the FBA movement is entitled to their own opinions. Like I said, there's plenty of people who understand the fight for reparations. There's plenty of people who understand that it was a global atrocity what was done to Africa and the people. Is that my time?
Yeah, been your time, dude.
I'm
All
just
right.
hearing the timer stop now. So,
All right. So, chat, I don't believe he's responding to anything I'm saying. I think he's just talking. So I'm actually writing down his talking points or typing his talking points. I'm going to respond to his talking points. I'm not just going to respond to respond. Okay, so he said, so why are we, FBA adults in America, worried about the next man pockets? Why are we looking overseas like, yo, you good? Brother, they're good. They're good. They're grown men. Okay, they're grown women. They don't need us spying on their pockets from over here. We got to get our own bag. Why are we looking over there? And they like, hey, how you gonna help us? You ain't got a bag yet. So is you want a bag, you want a bag, you want a bag. So there's some Bone Thugs and Harmony type stuff going here. So the now he talked about this coalition, bro, or the Europeans were united. Yeah, they were on code. They're not on code with us. They see it as an op. They see it as we're not taking advantage of our opportunities that somehow they'll take advantage of. And this Pan-Africanist viewpoint, in my opinion, that you have, or this Black inclusionist viewpoint that you have, has been a dream and is a dream. Okay, that's over. Okay, we're staying away from that type of stuff. Yvette Carnell, Tone Talk, Turnashi, all of us are on code with that. And even in chat, we're good. You do your thing, we'll do our thing, and we'll meet then. Okay. Now, so that fictitious coalition missed me. So now, how they gonna fight with us when our history in America, we've been fighters, we've been outnumbered in this country 40-1, and we've been fighting and rebelling and laying our lives on the ground, even fighting in armies. We're getting it in. These cowards in Jamaica got their freedom in 1833. You heard me. Our freedom was 1865. These guys had a 20-year-old head start. But guess what? They didn't get the independence until 1962. 130 years later. So they were freed. And by the way, all that time they outnumbered the white man 20-1. So what fight did they have in them? There's no fight in them. They outnumbered their ops 20-1. We were outnumbered 40-1, and we fought tooth and nail. All of these riots, Tulsa, Oklahoma, you name it, rebellions. We fought knowing we were going to lose and die. We fought. These guys outnumbered their ops 20-1 and couldn't take over. Begged for independence. Got independence in 1962. 3 years of freedom. Hey, we're by ourselves, and then regretted it. 60%. They did a poll. 60% of Jamaicans wish they were still colonized. 60% of Jamaicans today, a poll in 2011, they said that they wish they were under colonized by the white man. So how are we going to unite with people like that wish they were still under British rule? Like, dude, stop. Stop. We're going to stay far away from them until they get their shit together.
Okay. 1 second. Let me get my timer ready. Okay, so I already covered the reason why I said it would benefit us to be to have a united front. Okay, I said there's power in unity in itself. I could poke you with a finger and I can get one response. I can close all my fingers together and punch you with a fist and get a much more devastating blow. So the unity of it is why I think it's important for us to not abandon the idea of a unified front towards reparations. It has nothing to do with watching nobody's pockets. It has nothing to do with, just worrying about the next man. That's first of all. Second of all, you can give me all the Jamaican history you want. I'm not talking about an ADOS Jamaican coalition, so I don't even know why you're bringing that up. I said a unified from all the darker peoples of the planet. And I do feel like all the darker peoples of the planet have been subjugated and destroyed and misrepresented and purposely underdeveloped and colonized. And they've been practicing genocide on us. So I do think that, because you got to remember, we're a threat to their genetic survival, like everybody's genetic survival. And we are the indigenous of the world. Elijah Muhammad said it the best. Africa is not our home. It's the throne from which we ruled our home. And our home is the entire 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth. So being as that, we are the indigenous people of the world, and everywhere they went, they found us. They have a vested interest in decimating the populations of the indigenous in their conquest. So the reality of the matter is I already covered that. I covered why it's important for us to have a unified front. Lastly, you said, why would we be worrying about them, when they don't got their shit together? But brother, we don't have our shit together. We too are still at the bottom of the diaspora. We too still have the highest statistical indicators. We're not out the woods, brother. So, we are, as I said earlier, highest incarceration rate, murder rate, abortion rate, divorce rate, et cetera, et cetera. We too got some shit with us. You know what I mean? So we can't be haughty-taughty, nose in the air, like you niggas ain't got no shit together. Why we need to work with y'all for? As if we done conquered our own issues, we haven't. So, that point to me is incorrect. Now, I already covered the fact that I think it is important that primarily we do fight for ourselves and our reparation and our salvation here, because as I stated earlier, charity begins at home and then spreads abroad. How can we truly help the world until we help ourselves? I already covered that. You know what I'm saying? But implicit in that statement is the fact that we still need help. We still have to grow.
Time. Okay, chat. This one I'm gonna cut his head off. Okay, so he went to what
Are you
about?
talking to me or the chat?
Okay, let me start my time over. Well, both of us should be talking to the chat. Okay,
I
so
can't even
chat,
see the chat.
chat. Well, I can't either. Chat. Did he just do what about black on black crime? Did he just point to us and why we can't get our shit together? Well, let me help you out with a freestyle. You got something called the 40 acres and a mule renege. You got something called the sabotage of the Freedman Bank, Savings Bank. You got something called a homeowners loan coalition that redlined us. You got something called the Housing Act. You got something called Jim Crow. You got something called peonage, system of peonage. You got something called convict leasing. How dare this guy sit here and try to compare our rut to their rut when they never experienced that? They were always the majority. We did something unique that no black person could ever say they experienced outside of us. These guys put their welfare system, okay, redlining, all these housing segregation. We had to actually do 100-year march or movement. These guys held us down and locked us out of wealth, subjugated us to violence and all type of inhumane behavior for 100 years. And he tried to compare that to these guys who've been free since 1833, but nothing remotely close. How dare this guy do that? Now, so stop. I just cut his head off. So now we see where he's going. Blame black folks for what white folks did to us and still doing now. We were never really truly free. Okay? Now, power of unity, I just killed that right there. So now, 1833, they were freed. They got their independence in 1962 from UK. And guess what UK did? UK closed their borders in 1962, right? They said, all right, don't come back here. So in 3 years later, the United States passed the U.S. Immigration Act. Guess what? 1965, that same year, Jamaicans were fleeing their country. So they said, the hell with independence. They start fleeing to the United States and Canada. Okay, so they never gave a damn about freedom. This is why 60% of them took a poll and said they would rather be under colonial rule than be independent, because they know, as history tells you, as independent they are without Jim Crow and welfare and home and redlining and housing segregation and all these things, they knew that they are a burden to themselves. We could never do nothing with them. And this is why Yvette, all of our leaders that's aware of what's going on, Yvette, Tone, Dr. Claude, any other leader will tell you that if these guys join us, they're going to get in line. We are the leaders of this new school. There's no even equal leadership here. They're getting in line because all their countries fucked up. And you talked about me getting on Jamaica. All right, cool. I'm going to leave Jamaica alone. Next is Nigeria. All right. So, and I could keep going on and on and on. So next is Nigeria. I'm going to leave Jamaica alone and I'm going to cook Nigeria next. Go ahead.
Okay, let me start my timer. Okay, what you're doing is you're engaging in subterfuge, brother. You're trying to be deceitful so you can be right. I grew up fruit of Islam in the nation of Islam. You can't tell me about the white man and what he's done to us and why we're in the condition that we're in. I know about Jim Crow. I know about Willie Lynch. I know about the Freedman Bank. I know about Black Wall Street. I know about the Housing Act of 1930 that destroyed our chance from having equal wealth in this country. I know civil rights was a ploy to give us an illusion of inclusion after they supremely segregated us in the housing and the living to act as though integration was possible when they really just wanted to integrate our pockets and money. I know that crack and AIDS and gangster rap was employed from the system. I know about the 94 crime bill. I know that the music was usurped and used as a tool against the people. I know why we're in this condition that we're in. And you know I know that because you knew me for 20 years. You know these are my talking points. So stop being deceitful, stop being disingenuous. The reality of the matter is the point that I was making was that we can't have our nose in the air to these other countries saying they're unworthy because they haven't got their shit together when we haven't got our shit together as well. Now, if you want to talk about oppression, yes, we have been through what we went through. Yes, we should be the leaders of the new school. That's the Elijah Muhammad's teachings, what I came up on, that we are the chosen people, that based upon our experiences and our plight and what we've been through, we will be at the forefront of leadership in the Black diaspora. You know that's how I feel. So stop trying to paint me as something different when you know me for 20 years and we done had plenty of these arguments, okay? Stop. You was in here just in our last debate last year arguing about Darwin and how he was such a great man, okay? You called J. Edgar Hoover in our last debate a responsible hero. So don't you sit here now and act as though I'm disconnected from understanding why Black people are in the position that we in. I know it. That's why I started this debate by saying white supremacy is the key factor that exists and the number one threat to us up and above the Caribbean tethers, if you will. So stop being disingenuous. That's a clownish behavior on your part. Okay. So the reality of the matter is, the point that I'm making, and I'll reiterate it for those in the back of the class, it is the power of unity that will give us a stronger blow, a stronger sword. You didn't chop nothing up, nor did you chop my head off. The reason why I say unity is still important in the fight for reparations, because reparations is a global issue, not reparations just for ADOS or go ahead.
Time. All right, so before I start my time, before I started, Adani,
Can I say just one more thing, please? Give me 5 seconds, because I don't want them to, because I left on the cliffhanger. I'm not saying that ADOS and our fight for reparation isn't important or isn't a primary value. What I am saying is that we're owed what we are owed, and the world Black community is owed something as well. So fighting that fight as a united front, we can find some benefit in that. But go ahead.
hey Donnie, that dude American. So if people, you could time people out for being fools, but if they are disrespectful, and I redefine what disrespectful is, if they say anything against any talking points of FBA, ADOS, block them. Okay, we don't need their support, their donation, their subscription, not one thing from them. Okay, so if they just being goofy, time them out. If they're trolling, time them out. But if they are disrespectful, speaking against our talking points, like making light of them, undermining, block them. Oh yeah, block them. We don't need one of them. No support, no financial, nothing. Get out of here. All right, so let me start my time. Okay, so he said, hey chat, I'm gonna talk to chat. Chat, can I talk to y'all? He said he knows, then he should have known. So I'm gonna talk to him now. Focus. You said you know, then you should have known better than to compare our condition to theirs. And guess what? We're still better off. So under all those different faces of white supremacy or slavery, under all those different faces of Jim Crow and marginalizing and redlining, you should have known to never compare us to them. That's why I thought you lost your wig. And I did cut it off, by the way, because you should never compare us to them, because you might know about our history, but you damn sure know about theirs. You damn sure didn't know there was a free for 130 years. And they came out being murderers. You talk about marriage, and then you got a nerd talk about our marriage, bro. We had great marriages all the way until 1966. Okay, they had horrible marriages in 1966. They had a baby mama drama issue going on in 1966. They had a jacket problem in 1966. Don't you ever compare us to any other Black person in this world, because even though we went through what we went through, we were still light years better off than them. Okay, and they were always the majority. They always outnumbered their oppressors. We were the only Black people to never be in that type of position, and we were never truly free. We was always monitored with some type of leg brace, right? And there was white folks all around us. We could never get away. We're just all black people. They were the police officers, they were the lawmakers, they were the judge. They was always around us. That's not their case. Okay, so never can do that again. I did cut your head off because you did make that comparison. Now, Nigeria's poor as shit. Why? They shouldn't be poor. Nigeria has oil. Okay, they struck gold with oil. But you know what they did when they got the oil? Like these greedy bastards they are, they decided to cut off all their agricultural exports, and the other farmer sharecropping things they had going over there, and they just want to focus on oil. So as a result, by doing that, you can't make money in Nigeria unless you have oil. So guess what happened? Nigerians start to tap into the oil pipes. They start to siphon out the oil, therefore undermining their own country's wealth. They steal over 108,000 pounds of oil per day. I said day. Okay, so they undermine their own country. They got all type of corruption, and their current leader right now is being called a CIA informant. So how the hell are we gonna do something with them when their leader right now is called, guys, Google it. Their active leader right now is called a CIA informant. So dude, don't make me cook another foreign black country. All right. So I left Jamaica and I just cooked Nigeria. So we can't do shit with them until they get their shit together because they're in a shithole country.
Okay. Once again, you're engaging in subterfuge and you're being disingenuous. I never said that we can compare suffering. I never said that. The only thing I said that we were comparable in is the fact that colonial powers work together to disenfranchise us, to destroy us, to underdevelop us. And there is a comparison with that's concerned. I never put suffering on a barometer. I understand black suffering exists on a spectrum. I understand that. Of course, you know I understand that because you know my history and background. So stop being disingenuous, okay? The reality of the matter is I had a debate with you maybe 2 years ago when I explained to you that the black man was the debunker of Darwin's evolutionary theory because he said survival of the fittest. And I said, black people are the fittest. And you responded to me, how are we are the fittest when white folks done took everything from us, when white folks had destroyed us? And I had to explain to you and your cohorts that the story isn't over yet, that the story isn't done, and that we're still in the fight. And that just because they may appear that they're winning, the seeds of destruction were already sown in the paradigm in which it took over. Okay, they also sowed the seeds of their own destruction. So don't you sit here now after having this point of view in recent debates that the story's over and white people are the fittest. And now when I rightfully say, hold on now, we black people, still have a story to be written. These are my talking points, okay? So don't sit here now and try to act as though I don't understand that black suffering exists on a spectrum, okay? I do understand that. And I of course know that we as black people have been put through the worst treatment of anybody in the history of the planet. I know this. That is core teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's the school of thought I come from. We've had many conversations about this, that we are the leaders of the world. We are to be put in the forefront because we have had a unique suffering. But there is a comparability in the fact that all darker peoples of the planet have been
Wait, time. God damn.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not even looking. But you hear your timer. I don't hear mine.
I didn't hear my time. My timer says I got 36 seconds left. I do have 31 seconds left. Hold on, brother. All right. So the reality of the matter is, okay, subterfuge again. And I'm going to extend an extra 10 seconds for that. But the reality of the matter is we are very unique in our suffering. However, we can't discount that the pygmies in Australia was wiped out. We can't discount the fact that they committed genocide in New Zealand and New Guinea. We can't discount the fact that they wiped the Native Americans out. We can't discount the fact that they purposely underdeveloped Africa and spread disease and civil war all throughout it. We can't discount the fact that they carved it up.
You got?
I'm done in 5 seconds. We can't discount all of the things that have been done by the colonial coalition to all the peoples of the
All
planet.
right,
Although
time,
our suffering is more unique,
time. He's going over.
we have suffered all throughout the
Okay,
world.
so he goes over. All right,
You cut me
so
off first, but go ahead.
okay, because
Disingenuous. Go
well,
ahead.
no, I didn't match my time with yours because you just usually you would sync yours with mine. Lately,
Okay.
you were just going. Okay, so now he says, you know my position. No, I don't. I don't even know what you're saying today. Okay, now this guy is trying to bring up a debate with me he had 2 years ago. At the same time, he's talking about being disingenuous and being disrespectful or whatever terms he's using. But he's bringing up a debate what I had with him that you guys know nothing about, and then he's misrepresenting my points. Okay, so and that's more weird. He's bringing up a debate he said 2 years ago, and he got this perfect recollection of what I said verbatim. He can't show you a clip, but anyway, what does that got to do with today? Now I could talk about him actually lying, since you want to bring up debates. Well, when we debated Friday, he actually lied on record. So where he was actually caught. I never said nothing about that. But since we're bringing up old stuff because you're losing tonight, then we could be messy then. Okay, you was caught lying. I got a clip for you. You even admit you was lying, so you can't lie and win. You know, Tupac said if you lie, you die. Goodbye. So based off lying, you can never beat me in debating. All right. So now watch this. So yeah, so that it's about disingenuous. Why would you bring up a debate that these folks didn't hear, no arguments? And then we're in a time strain. Then you're gonna misrepresent me to get me off your ass tonight, Paul Straightening. Okay, no, we're gonna stay here. Okay, you want to part two of it, get an ass whooping that one, you can lose in that one again. But this global white supremacy garbage that he's talking. Okay, this is a Tethers argument. Okay, this is a not just Tethers, this is a RBG Pan Africanist argument. Keep your eye on white supremacy while everybody else dark that's non FBA, non ADO, just pick your pockets, cosplay you, misrepresent you, get rich by smearing your image across the world. Okay, no, dude, you're by yourself on that. And good luck trying to get a following because that shit ain't that shit gone. Like those days are in the past. Ain't nobody following no RBG people today, no Pan Africanists, and that Tether coalition. Good luck over there because they got a nice little following. You might get him staying over there. That Candace Owens lane, but over here, that global white supremacy bullshit, we don't care. Okay, we're focused on what's happening right here in America. We got enough on our plate. We're not gonna spread ourselves thin again. And when we spread ourselves thin, guys, chat, what do? We be the only ones fighting for them, and they never come over here and fight for us. And again, we don't need them to fight for us. Stay your shithole ass in your country and stop siphoning your own oil. Okay, stay your shithole ass in your country and stop giving the wrong men the jacket. He's not the dad. They got too much grimy shit, and the other guys eating cats and dogs. So they got too much grimy shit in their country going on to ever align themselves up with us.
Okay, I'm going to start my time now. Once again, you're being disingenuous and you're engaging in subterfuge, buddy. Like, you have to stop this. I didn't start the ad hominem attacks. I didn't start calling you crazy. I didn't start misrepresenting you to these people as if, you were something that you were not. What I said was facts, okay, about our previous debates was facts. What you did was try to be disingenuous, knowing my position growing up in the Nation of Islam. Still now, you calling me RBG and you calling me Pan-Africanist when I don't share those points of views. My point of view and my school of thought comes from Elijah Muhammad, Minister Louis Farrakhan, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, Malcolm X, and my father. You know that. So that's my reference point. So stop calling me RBG and all of the rest of this stuff because it's all BS. And it's BS, okay? The reality of the matter is the coalition that I am discussing that will exist to fight for reparations throughout the world is not a coalition that I am trying to engage in because I'm trying to be some tether apologist, Pan-African apologist. Okay, I don't believe in back to Africa. I don't believe Africa is our home. I believe Africa is the throne from which we ruled our home. I believe our home is a whole 196,940,000 1,000 square miles of the planet Earth. Most Elijah Muhammad asked the question. Question 3, student enrollment. What's the population of the original nation in the wilderness of North America and all over the planet Earth? Answer. The population of the original nation in the wilderness of North America is 17 million, with the 2 million Indians all over the planet Earth, 4,400,000,000. So in that answer, he was letting you know that we connect to a global Black audience, okay? We connect to a global Black audience. Now, yes, charity does begin at home and then spreads abroad. Yes, because of our unique history and what we have been through, we have positioned ourselves as the forefront and the leaders to this coalition, and we shouldn't be taking a backseat to anybody with regards to this. But that does not mean there is no place for unity. That does not mean there is no place for us building with each other and the darker peoples of the planet throughout the world, as the lighter peoples, if you will, of the planet has built with themselves. They have built coalitions. They have built alliances. They have built colonial powers. We too should not shy away from, building unity and building blocks with our indigenous brothers throughout the world, although our primary building should start here with one another. Our fight for reparations should start here with one another. We do need to clean ourselves up and be together in that fight initially and primarily. But that does not mean if a hand is laid out to us and it's a genuine hand, it's a hand that is not coming from a tether position or a position that's trying to block anything we got going on, and they're authentic in it, that we can't connect with them.
Time. All right, let me cook. Okay, here we go with these hypothetical hands. Dude, I'm past that. I'm past the hypothetical what if. Let's wait till 20 years from now. We're dealing with what cards are in our hands right now. We're not dealing with the hypothetical hands as we just got all spades, and just aces and kings and nothing else but spades, no clubs. We're not using those hands, right? We're playing with the hand that we have right now. Some of those hands are mediocre. We might got 3 spades, maybe an ace. Hey, we playing aces down, maybe an ace, a jack, and a 6. But we might have a high, a king, club, one others, no diamonds, it's type of mediocre hand. So we're not doing the hypothetical make believe stuff anymore. Okay, we're dealing with what history showed us that shit does not work. Not I keep emphasizing their current conditions. They're not even unified amongst themselves. You got Rwanda happening. They're the same people. A goddamn genocide. Okay, look at Nigeria right now. They're assassinating presidents left and right, and they got so many coups in Nigeria. Yo, dude, you'll get nowhere. And look at Ghana. Ghana just robbed Michael Blackson. Michael Blackson is Ghanaian, whatever you call it, and he invested some money in there. And Ghana took it and ran with it. So like they're disrespecting their own citizens, but there's no hope in that. Uh, so yeah, so we're not going to fall for the we all in this together type bullshit. So he keep bringing up a debate we had 2 years ago. I don't even know why we're even talking about that. And to be honest with you guys, most of our debates 2 years ago will bore the hell out you. We could even run it back, but I doubt if you be 4 people in here listening. Okay, so he want to recall some phantom win, do whatever, you know, and we'll maybe debate a whole separate channel that actually appreciate that kind of boring shit. Okay, but again, these countries got too much turmoil. They got too much coups arising, Haiti gangs running the shit. So no, dude, they are too chaotic, and all of them will tell you how corrupt their government is. Okay, they'll all do that. They'll tell you my corrupt my. Do you know in these foreign countries, these governments when they become president, when they get a president, elect the president doesn't hire the most fitting people to run the financials or to guide them right. They hire their relatives, bro. They keep the money within their relatives, and the country goes broke. Everybody's scrambling for money. 40% of Nigerians makes $2 a day, just $2 a day. Okay, so again, this phony baloney, we are the world bullshit. We're not buying. So now this is my question to you, because this is the first question. Because you said something that raised an antenna. So what are you? Are you American? If yes, me too. If not, then what are you? That's the question. That's a 1 minute for that. And so I'm gonna put you at 4 minutes now. So let me know when you're ready.
Okay, of course I'm American. I'm from freaking New Jersey, man. Duh. I'm American. I'm not silly. I'm not stupid. Of course, I'm an American citizen. Look on my passport. Look on my driver's license. What college did I go to? What high school did I go to? I'm an American citizen. Of course, I'm an American citizen. Like that. That's not even a question. I am an American citizen through and through, with lineage straight back to slavery. Okay. Yes, I am. Now, with that being said, because I'm an American citizen does not necessarily mean, like some of these people, I'm just going to immediately take pride in throwing the stars and stripe on my back, okay? Because the stars and stripe has done nothing for our people but destroy it, which is why we are fighting for reparations right now. You just went through an entire soliloquy of 10 different examples of when America fucked us over. So I'm not just just in the business of just automatically, yeah, I'm an American, man. Oh, Captain America, stars and stripes. No, I understand that we have a unique history here and that America has done more to us than it's probably done to anybody else around the country, because we've been here building, fighting in all their wars, doing everything that they asked, and they still treated us like shit. They still undermined us. They still underdeveloped us. They still plotted against us. They still murdered us. They're murdering us right now as we speak. So, yes, I'm an American. Absolutely. But would you say I'm a proud American? I'm not exactly sure. I'm an American because that's a statement of fact. Okay. Now, to the other point you made, okay, you talked about Rwanda. Stop being disingenuous, bro. You know Belgium was responsible for those civil wars in Rwanda. Belgium is the ones who armed the Hutsis against the Tutsis. That was Belgium who did that. Belgium is the one who gave them superior schools and superior living while they starved the other people, and then gave the other people that they starved guns to go to war against the people that they gave elevated lives to. Belgium was all behind that, because the bottom line is they wanted to underdevelop Africa purposely, okay, so that they could steal the resources and steal the people from Africa. So stop. You talk about Nigeria, that was a British colonial power, okay? You talk about Ghana, that was a British colonial power, okay? They took that and carved Africa the hell up. So a lot of the civil wars that you see that exist in the continent of Africa is a direct result of European colonization, and you know that. So don't just sit here and tote your nose up to Africa talking about something, yeah, man, Ghana and this, that, and the third. Don't do that, all right? I understand Africans have their certain problems with us, and there's certain people who try to act like they're better than us, and I disagree with them for that, okay? 100%. I don't speak in absolute, so I don't think they all feel that way. But regardless, if the majority of them did, it's because of their colonial power. Tariq Nasheed, I have a video of him saying, in fact, about it. You posted it last night. I'll give you the timestamp of it. He said, there's white Jesus statues right over there in Africa right now. When he was talking about the Sister Lovey, he's white Jesus, statues over there right now that they too are victims of white supremacy. So the reality of the matter is we are victims of white supremacy. I'm not putting us, I'm not discussing the barometer. I understand it exists on a spectrum, okay? However, we are still comparable in the fact that we are, subjugated and colonized and destroyed and genocidally wiped out by these colonial powers that act in unison against us. Okay, so we're not going to do that, and we're not going to sit here and turn our nose up. No, I ain't no Pan African. I'm not at all. However, I do acknowledge the plight of white supremacy, and I do understand that that is affecting all the darker peoples of the planet.
Time. Okay, so put this back on 3 minutes. My time started just now. Okay, so now he wants to blame Belgium for Rwanda. And then he says, now I know he don't study Nigeria history at all, because he blamed the British colonial power for Nigeria's current condition. Dude, what are you talking about? Nigeria didn't find their oil until the British power already left. Okay, so they were doing agricultural work for the British, and when the British left, they kept it up, and then they found they had oil. Once they found they had oil, that's when they became one of the richest countries in Africa, bro. That's after British colonial power. What they did after that was squandered, my boy. They were greedy as fuck. This is why I know you don't study Nigerian history, because this had nothing to do with British colonial power. They didn't come into riches till after the British left. Okay, and then their greed turned on each other. So their greed imploded the country. And don't worry, I got a question for you. after my time's up. So no, that's not gonna work over here. So I was not Googling Nigeria. I actually read Nigeria history and studied it. So try again. So the colonial empire had nothing to do with Nigeria. Killed, they starved themselves out over this damn oil and became greedy, nasty thieves to each other because it's oil. And so you lucky I'm gonna waste a question for something else. My next round, I got another question for you. This is Cook City. So and as a result, Nigeria made themselves a shithole. Cause they again they were one of the richest countries in Africa, if not the richest, but they were definitely up there. Until they started to undermine each other, steal from each other, and they was fighting for positions to, be in the line of beneficiary of this oil money. So that's why I said they abandoned agriculture. They said, fuck the people. We're going to push this oil because whoever's in charge of the oil, we're going to only usurp the money. That's it. Nobody else. So what they did was, again, like I explained before, they caused other Nigerians, the poor people who couldn't make any money from fruits and berries because nobody cared about that. Everybody want oil. So they had to siphon oil and they had to undermine the Nigerian government and wealth by selling the oil to ops in the black market, in the black market. So that's what they did for their country. So stop trying to find a way out because it ain't gonna happen, bro. All this blame the Belgians, and I'm gonna cook you on that in a second. Blame the British for Nigeria. Stop, dude. These are people who fuck their own country over out of greed and corrupt governments and coups rising up, killing this person, killing that person. The British ain't even nowhere near those people. Okay, so now talked about Jamaica. You saying British, and when the British was over there, British outnumbered like 100 to 1. So again, like, why are we talking like the British had this big influence on Africa? Yo, there are 250 million Nigerians. How many British people you thought was in Nigeria? Okay, so here's my question. You said Belgium is the reason why Rwanda happened. Brother, this is a question for you. You got 1 minute. Who is Charles Taylor? Okay, so you want to start your time?
Oh, okay. Start my time.
Okay, go.
I have no idea.
Okay, you can do whatever you want now.
Okay. Okay. According to this, is the 22nd president of Liberia. Okay. Now the reality of the matter is this: I will never believe that it was simply crude oil theft within Nigeria that is the only reason why they lost their oil reserves. I know, I'm smart enough to know that Africa has been colonized and underdeveloped for so long that they've been stealing our oil, our diamonds, and everything else. Okay, so yeah, of course, you're going to simply point the blame to only the Nigerians with niggas was just robbing each other and all of this. But the reality of the matter is, there are always more nefarious, more sinister things at hand. That's first of all. Second of all, you're talking about they start robbing each other like that was the only reason why Nigeria oil reserves was depleted. All right, it wasn't. Okay, you had poor infrastructure as well. Okay, and you had declining reservoir performance. Okay, the reservoirs just didn't perform as well. Okay, so all of this was a perfect storm, if you will. The sabotage from I believe the colonial powers may have been as well. Some brothers tapping into pipelines they shouldn't have tapped into. Okay, undermining themselves. But then you also had aging oil fields and declining reservoir performance. So don't sit here and just simply them niggas was robbing each other. You sound like a coon yourself, my man. Like, and you want to discount the fact that the colonial powers have chopped up Africa and have always had a hand in its purposeful underdevelopment and robbing it of its natural resources. Ain't nothing changed since lunchtime. You think these people who had all this control over Nigeria all of a sudden just left and that was it? No, they always have more nefarious means to go ahead and get what they want to get done. That's what happens when you have a continent that has purposely been underdeveloped and civil war has been incited in throughout the people. Okay, and like I said, you want to just point out the niggas ain't shit. Look, they robbing each other. But it was much more involved in the depletion. Okay, as I said, aging oil fields, depleted reservoirs, and all of the rest. So all of it was the perfect storm. Okay, so stop trying to sit here now and just I'm gonna find a way to kick in every African's back I can, and them Jamaicans ain't no good. And let's talk about white supremacy and their involvement in it. Since you were so ready to talk about that when it came to us, you were so ready to talk about how it negatively affected us as the people and how they purposely kept us behind. Well, let's talk about how it also kept them behind as well. And this isn't a Pan-Africanist talking point. I'm just not going to allow you to undermine the white supremacist power structure and what they did to our brothers all throughout the world. It don't really got nothing to do with reproving the Africans as much as it does with pointing correct blame and fault and culpability on the white supremacist power structure that exists all throughout the world. Like, we're not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can sit here and have this national amnesia with regards to what they've done. I mean, international amnesia with regards to what they've done to all the darker peoples on the planet. I choose not to have that. I know that was genocide all throughout every black nation that exists. I understand there was disease spread purposely, famine, hunger through all throughout these nations that exist. And I understand our unique plight and what they did to us here in America and how it trumps many of those things because we had to live it for centuries. We had to go ahead.
Okay. Let me cook them. Okay, so chat.
You're doing no cooking.
Okay, let me start my time over because he's averse to violate. Okay, so chat. The reason why I asked him who Charles Taylor was, because I know he didn't know. So Charles Taylor is a big um, factor in Rwanda. So I'm just showing you that he never studied this stuff. He's just winging it and just talking. Okay, just like he didn't study Nigeria, because what news truck does he have in Nigeria for him to discount all the public AP information I just gave you? You got Nigerians over here will tell you that's happening over there, but somehow Focus have this Lord Jamar information that none of us are privy to. Okay, I don't know how's happening. So Nigeria information is public news. On the what index was that called? What's the corruption index? On the corruption index, they're like 180th. Okay. Now, so for him to just make up history on the fly and disregard all of the public and free information about Nigeria is hilarious. That means that nothing we say is credible. All right. So now he's the first to call name. He called me Coon. Okay. So he is the tether whisperer. That's what I call him. He makes it nice and comfy for tethers to listen to our talking points. Now Jamaicans. No, no. Let's go back to Nigeria. So he lied. Nice. What he can't do is because he's a little delusional. He can't admit that these countries fuck themselves over. Their governments are shitty. You ask any Niger, why do you think there's a song that Terry got called "The Government"? Because again, this guy is his thoughts are obsolete. Like he's 1990s all the way. There's a reason why Tariq got a song called "The Government." It's because he heard all these black immigrants from various countries blame their governments for their shitty condition. They don't blame the white man like this guy's trying to do. He's trying to get him a way out by blaming the white man. Blaming the white man is exclusive an American thing. The white man has literally been in our way all of our existence, even now in America. That's not the same for them.
Yes.
And I got a question for him in a second. So the only people who can
Mm-hmm.
actually blame the white man is us. And guess what? These tethers would say we're complaining. These tethers would say when we blame the white man, we're complaining, but we're gonna let Focus blame the white man for us when we're not blaming the white man. So therefore, we're not complaining. Focus is complaining for us when we're the only exclusive black group, black race, who's actually justified blaming the white man because he's been an active instrument undermining all of our progress and putting roadblocks before we get any progress to stop us from succeeding. So we the only group that can actually blame the white man and be correct. Everybody else have been in the country by themselves for 100 years. So this is another question for DJ Folk. Again, 4 minutes again. I'm just throwing you 4 minutes. So Jamaicans were freed in 1833. and but they outnumbered the British 20-1. Why why outnumber them? So it's the question. Outnumber them 20-1. Why they wait for 130 years to beg the British for independence and not fight and take it? That's for you. You want to start your clock?
All right, repeat that question. I'm sorry.
So the question is, they were free. So I'm giving a fact. They were freed in 1833. Okay, and they outnumbered the British 20-1. Like they were always the supreme majority. Why would they? And this fighting spirit they're supposed to have. Why did they wait? Well, no. Why did it take 130 years? Now keep in mind they're free, and they're a fighting class. You claim 130 years later, they begged the British for independence, and they didn't go fight and take it. Why you think?
Well, let me start my time. Wait a minute. 1 second. Oh, wait. Let's cancel that. Let's go back up to 4 minutes. Well, you asked me why I think, which means, I'm allowed to give a postulation here, right? I believe, partly it's out of fear, partly it's, because they don't believe that they had the adequate war machines to combat a colonial, warmongering power as big as the, British government. Okay. I also believe that, we weren't united when the British were. They had allies in Belgium, and they had allies in France, and they had allies in America, which is big bad United States. Okay. So, for all of these reasons, I believe that, they may have been reluctant to fight and to take it. And, in the art of war, Sun Tzu said, the best war to fight is a war where you don't got to lift a finger, paraphrasing. So, the reality of the matter is, they felt that they can gain their independence through diplomatic solutions, then, that's just the course of action that they thought was best for them. And that's just my opinion on the matter. Now, when it comes to Charles Taylor, it says here that he was a Liberian from Liberia, which is West Africa, and Rwanda is in East Africa. Okay, and let's not forget that Charles Taylor is locked up in a UK prison right now. Okay, it was the British who locked him up and deemed him as this great big warlord. So of course they're going to remove their own culpability, and he was a warlord that turned president. So that is an example of people that a person who is trying to fight to become independent, right? I got to do more research on him. So, but try to fight to become independent and vilified by the colonial machine. Now, I mentioned Rwanda, not Liberia, okay? And if he had some involvement or was pretended to have some involvement in Rwanda, I got to do some more research on that. But the reality of the matter is he was in Liberia. He wasn't in Rwanda. That's first of all. Second of all, I mentioned the Belgium and their involvement in the Rwanda civil war genocide. And you said you were going to debunk it and you didn't. Prove to me that that Belgium wasn't an integral part of that genocide. Prove to me that they didn't supply the Hutsis and the Tutsis with guns and arm them against each other. Prove to me that they didn't purposely develop one side while they underdeveloped the other side, gave the one side better schooling and better housing and, all of these accoutrements when they kept the other people starved and destroyed and destabilized and disenfranchised. You didn't even mention that. You tried to ask me some generic question and say, I knew this nigga didn't know no Charles Taylor. He's from Liberia, not even from Rwanda. Okay, so the reality of the matter is, even if they deemed him as some sort of having some sort of influence in what happened in Rwanda, the reality of the matter is that didn't trump Belgium and what Belgium did to Rwanda. Okay, that's a fact. All right, Belgium was way more instrumental in destroying Rwanda and arming them against each other and creating a civil war than Charles Taylor ever was. Okay, so you can keep on with the ad hominem attacks, which you started, and we can go back and watch this, and you'll see you was the first one calling me crazy and misrepresenting my points and trying to act as if I was some crazy tether whisperer. That was you who started the ad hominem attacks and start going crazy. I was being peaceful as hell, and then you kept going. So that's why I start bringing up your history and who you were before this wave. Okay, so that's why, because you're sitting here trying to disrespect.
Time,
But
time,
go
time,
ahead.
time, time, time. Okay, wait. Starting from 4, let me go back to 3. Okay, so he's doing exactly what I know he would do. He wants to do the complain and play victim, and I'm calling names and doing all this stuff. Dude, stop and just debate the damn topic, man. Okay? Just debate the topic. Stop crying and complaining, debate the topic. Okay, so he said Jamaica ain't want to lift. Now he's making up history. You can't read. So when he talks about history, you can't read it. You just gotta listen to him. But he can never source up. He can never give you, oh, Jamaica, they didn't want to fight. But if you talk to Jamaican, they'll talk about how they always fought. I mean, they didn't want to live for this. He just makes he's a tether whisperer revisionist, like history revisionist. He's making up reasons why Jamaica didn't have the courage to outright dethrone the British or get rid of them. Malcolm X said a revolution is bloody. So now DJ Focus said that hey, they didn't lift a finger. Well, maybe this is why they only had 3 years of independence because they didn't do it the right way. They didn't get it from the mud. They didn't fight. That's why they didn't appreciate the independence, my boy. They didn't fight, so they didn't appreciate it. And guess what? When they were granted independence, they felt like suckers. Like, damn, you know what? Damn, they just gave it to us without a fight. It's like we didn't take it like everybody else. So they said, listen, we're out. We're leaving. Okay, so now I remember my question I asked you. So they left. They they left the country, and their smartest brains and their best, most skilled people are not in the country today. Okay, 89% of the tertiary people leaves Jamaica to never go back. 89%. They got the second highest level of brain gain. I think it was who was first? Guyana was number one. Don't worry, I got you on brain gain. I got you in a second. So again, this all this sympathy for these shithole countries, dude. That's what you do. Go ahead and be a shithole whisperer, or whatever you want to be. But I'm going to continuously read history. I'm going to read it for what it is. It's public information. I'm not going to make up the Belgium. And no, you don't read that while they have corruption, while they top 100 in the corruption index. Okay, all this the white man. So that's all he wants to do. It's the white man, the white man, the white man. These dusty niggas are only dusty and eating dogs because of the white man. No, nigga, they're eating dogs and dusty because they're eating dogs and dusty. That's why. And that's just the fact. All this narrative you're doing is bullshit. So here's the question. Keep 4 minutes again. Here's the question. So many of the Jamaicans are leaving Jamaica. I'm talking about their most skilled and brightest minds. They're leaving Jamaica to never return. Okay. And as a result of doing that, they're causing a brain drain to the country. Okay. So if they're leaving the country, and this is their most skilled people, how could they then, and as a result, they got to import Chinese and Indians over there. How can they ever rebuild Jamaica if their most skilled rebuilders are in America to stay? That's the question. 4 minutes. Let me know when you time.
1 second. Let me put in.
Mhm.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm going right now. The difficulty of them rebuilding Jamaica would be more difficult by their top intellects and builders and engineers leaving the country. But once again, this is something that is employed right here in America by even our own people, right? we get rich and leave the hood. We don't reinvest and regrow and build back in the hood. A bunch of different people are owning everything in the hood. Okay, Trump had his opportunity zones and different things, which came at a tough time for us because we was already limited in our access to wealth and credit. So it basically was a free fall for everybody else to pick up and buy up in the hood. Prior to that, you had gentrification and different things, and it's because we got money and got rich and we left. Okay, so even our own black communities is having a brain drain, if you will, right? But as I said earlier in this debate, the seat of power the seat of power lies here. The resources lie here. I mean, they're sitting in what you just eloquently defined it and loquaciously defined it as a shithole country, while a couple hundred miles to the north, they have Miami and they have, the Americas and the United States, and, they have lax immigration laws on the southern border. So it's easier for them to come up into America and to try to build a better lives for themselves, right? Because at the end of the day, the seat of power is here, the resources here. They say America is the greatest country on the planet. So I'm in a shithole with the greatest country on the planet, a couple hundred miles north. Yes, I 9 times out of 10 people will try to flee and try to leave. And once they come here and they're able to, not just get on the beach and jet ski, but they're able to go to freaking Disney World and they're able to, go to Busch Gardens and Dorney Park and Six Flags, and, they're able to go to New York City and, all of this other things, and see how, the quote unquote greatest country on the planet, works. Then yes, you'll have many people come up here and, flee and never return. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that could be a potential reason right there. I'm not saying that it's not a pejorative. I'm not saying that they shouldn't try to build, Jamaica up for what it is. But remember, this is a small island population, 3 million people. You have 3 to 400 million people up here in America, right? So, like, at the end of the day, it's quote unquote the land of opportunity. They're watching all these movies, they're watching all these shows, they're watching all of these different things that presents America as this great nation, and they want a piece of that and a part of that. Right or wrongly, this is what's behind their psyche. That's what I believe. That's first of all. Second of all, I see how you Harlem shaked around Belgium's involvement because you don't know about it. I see how you Harlem shaked around Charles Taylor involvement in Rwanda as opposed to Liberia when you were just condemning me and condescending me. Okay, I would have liked you to expound on that, or were you just wrong in that regard that he had anything to do with the Rwanda genocide? And you didn't expound on the fact fact that he's locked up in a UK prison and deemed a war criminal by the British, the same people who were just responsible for colonizing Africa. It seems disingenuous and nefarious with their position on that, brother. And but as I said, I'm just learning about him now. I do concede that. But yeah, so that may be a reason why the Jamaicans are coming up. I don't know why you're hell bent or you have this such infatuation with Jamaica. We're not talking about Jamaica. We're talking about ADOS. We're talking about the freedmen. We're talking about FBAs. And then we're talking about the global black diaspora, not just Jamaica.
Time. No. Wait, I got to reset 3 minutes. No. You were talking about white supremacy. You got to read the title of the show, my boy. It's about Tethers. Okay, so I'm actually staying on task. And this is, as a matter of fact, why we even started arguing since Friday. We were talking about Tethers and their role in white supremacy. So they always been a part of the title. All right. And even back then, you go check our Friday debate, you'll see it was about Tethers. Okay, so let's go. Let's cook real fast. All right. So this is what happens when you wing it when you don't know shit in advance. So brain game. Okay. So now he said, now again, he compared the hood. He compared us leaving the hood. Now he talked about people who are rich. Now Tone Talks would kill this dude. Okay, he's just making shit up. The majority of us don't leave the hood. The majority of us are broke and in the hood. There's a to the right of the decimal percent of FBAs and ADOS who actually leave the hood and could do better. Damn near 80-90% of us don't leave the hood. So again, like he is, but 89% of them leave Jamaica. So he's trying to compare our minority, small rinky-dink minority, to the majority. And he's saying leaving the hood which is ours, going to a better place, which is ours, which is always we was always deprived of these things. Again, zoning laws in 1910. You got no black history. Zoning laws in 1910 kept us from affluent, middle class, upper class neighborhoods. So of course we got these rights now since 1968, the Fair Housing Act, where yes, we want to flourish our money in a better environment. Okay, that's not brain gain or brain drain. You need to look up definitions, start remixing. Brain drain is literally leaving your country and coming to another country, making them greater. Dude, stop. Know the definitions of the words you're using. Okay, so he's comparing white supremacy that we experience to a bunch of cowards, to a bunch of cowards who don't want to rebuild their country. Now he's trying to justify them coming here. There's nothing wrong with coming here legally, leveling up, but going back, fixing your country. He's trying to justify these cowards leaving their country, come here, level up, and never going back, letting their country just rot and become a permanent shithole. There's no justification for that. Okay, but when you're a tether whisperer, you'll just have all these excuses for all this shit. Now he said they're fleeing to America because it's the land of the great, the opportunities. Yeah, they come over here, they use our resources, they eat from the table that we set, and then at the same time shit on us, and then tell us that we need to pull our bootstraps. Look at me. Why you can't get shit done? Why you on welfare? Why you on it? This is how they talk when they come over here. Okay, they got a whole YouTube space for this called Diaspora Wars. So yeah, so they see what's going over here off our backs. They come over here, step on our back, kick us out the way, and then literally cosplay us, literally take lessons to become an FBA, and then shit on us. There you go.
Okay.
Got no questions.
So
Wait, when you start,
right now. Okay, so you just said we go to the white community to flourish our resources. Well, that's the same thing they're doing. Okay, so it's comparable in that manner. They're coming to a greater quote unquote country, a land of opportunity to flourish their resources. You mentioned them not going back. Well, a lot of our affluent people don't go back either. When you talk about a brain drain, then you're talking about that top 10, 11%, whatever you want to call it, of our people who leave the hood, okay? And those are 9 times out of 10 are our intellects. They are our rich people. They are our success stories. They are our, the top echelon of our society. So that is a brain drain in itself. We brain draining from the black community, okay? So it is comparable in that right, okay? We leave too, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so the reality of the matter is, that particular line of reasoning, is flawed. Now, remember, the population of Jamaica is 3 million, 2.826 million people in Jamaica, okay? In America, we have roughly 40 to 60 million, let's say 45 million, okay? So that 10% you're talking about is still more than the entire population of Jamaica. That 10%, that 4.5 million people who leave the hood, okay, and still leave the 41.5 million percent people in the hood, it's still more than the entire population of Jamaica. So even if 89% of them leave because of the land opportunity, because they're in a shithole country, because they see better opportunity here, because they want to flourish their resources, etc., it's still more of us doing that because there's so many of us up here. So we're not going to discount, what we do, okay? Because we do the same damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's my answer to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it right? No. But it's also not right when we leave the hood and we don't come back and our rich people buy up the land and buy up the properties and, reinvest in our communities and make sure that, black people are on the proper trajectory towards greatness. Okay. We do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we can't keep on pointing the finger at other people. And that goes back to the point that I said earlier. Like, we still got shit we need to deal with. We still in a bad condition ourselves, which is why it's important for us to worry about us. Okay. It's not important for us to worry about us because we so good and they so bad and we don't need to be looking at them for shit. And they hate us so much. It's important for us to worry about us first because we're in a fucked up ass condition. And 90% of our people are still in poor ass, rat infested shithole communities, like you just said. So, like, don't be disingenuous.
Time. Okay, this is actually my last argument. I'm done after this because he stooped. Like it's become cringeworthy now. Okay, now he's saying the most of us live in rat hole, shithole. Like this guy is definitely he might be a damn tether the way he's talking. I'm not sure now. I need some damn paperwork. Okay, it's really cringeworthy the way he's talking right now. He's still after I gave him the definition of brain gain, brain drain, brain waste. There's only this to his dumbass comparison ain't even a real comparison. You can't have brain drain when you're in your own country, dude. Leaving and moving here, that's your American right. These are our 50 states, my boy. We can move to city to city to city to city and come back. Okay, so after I explain, you cannot compare. That's not brain drain. We're in our own country. It's not brain gain either. And he still wants to make the comparison. It's just a bad faith argument, and I'm good. Like when we start going this low, just to I don't even know why now. All right, so I'm good. This is my last argument. He could give us after this. I'm good. So he's talking about these 2.8 million Jamaicans, right? That leads the world in murders. Like Jamaica is literally the Chicago of the world, and they had the most baby mothers. Okay, and now he's saying we're pointing the finger, and it's all about black on black crime. He goes back to that. Okay, but somehow but this is the same guy that want to promote we are the world and let's help other nations out with the reparations movement. Let's discard ours and let's go to theirs and push them to, tranquility and heaven and all this garbage. Here's the facts about Jamaica is that they've been free since 1833. They got their independence in 1962. It was given to them. They didn't take it. They didn't earn it. They didn't march. They didn't do none of the shit we did over here. And they were sitting around doing nothing, eating fucking banana plantains and smoking marijuana. And so they only had 3 years of true independence. After that, they got the hell out of there. They started leaving there there on. They came to America illegally, legally. They went to Canada illegally, legally. 60% of them took a poll in 2011, and they wish they were back under colonial rule. So much for your nonviolent approach focus. They wish they were back under colonial rule in 2011 because Jamaica was a true shithole. I don't know what FBA ADOS person wish he was back in slavery or Jim Crow, my boy. Okay, so it's a horrible, horrible, bad faith argument. So terrible and disrespectful to FBAs and ADOS that I don't even want another round. Okay, I'm good with this. Let's just change the narrative. Let's call the black communities a shithole. Okay, dude. So there's your 3 minutes. Let me know when you're ready, and we can
Okay.
just wrap it up.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, I'm not 3 minutes start now. Okay, I was only regurgitating your point of view. That's the point of what I said. You said 90% of us are still poor as hell, still in the hood, all fucked up and such and such and so and so. So that's the only thing I was trying to do was regurgitate the point that you made when I said, we leave the hood and don't come back and don't build and don't, develop. You said, oh, yeah, such and such said that 90% of us are still in these fucked up ass communities. So that's the point I was regurgitating. Okay, that's first of all. Okay, second of all, it is a form of brain drain, brother. Like, I'm sorry, you want to say it's not, but it is. If the top, intellects and the top producers and the top success stories and the top earners of our community go rushing into the white community to pay taxes there and to use their tax money to build their properties and their roads and their schools, as opposed to the roads and properties and schools in our community, then it is a form of brain drain. I'm sorry. Like, you can deny it, but the fact of the matter is that exists, okay? I'm not no tetherer. I'm not no whisperer. I'm just acknowledging the fact of the matter and the fact that what it is. We're all in a fucked up ass position, period, okay? And that's just facts. And we've been placed in this fucked up position based upon white supremacy, based upon white colonial rule, based upon white oppression. This is what placed us at the bottom of the diaspora all throughout the world. So these disingenuous Negroes up here talking about diaspora wars. The diaspora war shouldn't be between black diaspora versus black diaspora. It should be for the black diaspora versus the dominant society diaspora. That should be the diaspora war, okay? And until we engage in that proper war and that proper fight, then we will always be like the Houthis and the Tutsis in Rwanda, killing each other, arguing with each other, going against each other. When you got a Belgium sitting right there, when you got an America sitting right here, when you got a France sitting right there, when you got a Britain sitting right there, we are going at each other. Oh, these no good Nigerians. Oh, these no good Jamaicans. Oh, these niggas ain't shit. They come up here talking about us. Oh, them lazy old niggas. And oh, yeah, my mama taught me they wasn't no good. I watched movies, they wasn't no good. And they come over here and tether and talk mess about us. And we doing the same thing right now, talking about them, and they got a shithole country, and they cowards, and they this and they that. We're having diaspora wars between one another, which we should be aiming our war towards the dominant society. We should be aiming our war towards the colonial powers. And that's why I said it's important for us to all work together in certain fights, okay? Because they're working together. You have all these colonial powers allied. Don't matter what happens. They going to Israel. They going to Gaza. Guess what? Israel, France, Britain, America, they all together. They going to Africa and underdeveloped. Britain, France, Israel, they all together. And we need to be together in our own right. Okay? Not to say it's not important for us to, take a vested interest in each other and build each other up first. I do believe that. But there is value in aligning ourselves with the darker peoples of the planet and having a double-edged sword in certain in particular fights. I thank you for this debate. I had fun, enjoyed cooking you tonight. I did great. It was okay. I cooked you and I enjoyed doing it. Listen, brother, we're going to watch this back, okay? And I know why you're running as an addendum to my point, because
7 o'clock.
Well, we stayed on the phone till 3 a.m. last time.
That's the weekend. That was Friday.
I know, but when you think you're winning, you will gash me. But you're losing. That's why you're ready to hang up. But it's cool because I got to work tomorrow.
I got a 3-year-old son who's up right now who won't go see Chicago this week.
Listen, brother, I love you. I always will love you. We've been rocking out for 20 years. I enjoy this debate. Go watch it back and learn, brother. Understand that you can still grow. All right, that there's a lot more learning for you to do, brother.
I would love for you to try to make some clips. Look, you got permission to re-air this, clip it.
I hope you re-air it. I really do. And I
will. I would love for you to clip this and try to find where you actually did good.
I did fine, and
I cooked you for trying to compare our Jim Crow system and these things to these guys 130 years of freedom.
I ain't comparing.
Y'all gonna see the turning point. He turned up and got offensive after that.
I didn't compare. No,
name calling, the aggression, everything came after.
Go rewatch it. See how many times you called me crazy, how you try to misrepresent me.
Okay, wait. I was just talking. Let me just say what I'm saying first and you go. So listen, guys and gals, I'm telling you, when I re-air this tomorrow, that work sometime. Listen for when he dared to compare. He did one of those "what about black on black crime" moments, and he definitely compared Jamaica's issues when they were by themselves with freedom. Okay, white man wasn't pulling them over, lynching, none of that shit going on. We went through all of that. 100 years of lynching, 100 years of Jim Crow, 100 years of blocked out of wealth. He compared our current condition, disregard all that type stuff, to Jamaica's current condition, and we're still millionaires compared to them. The cheapest Jamaican dollar, our $1 is like 50 something Jamaican dollars. Like, they're still a shithole, and you know what they do? They don't go back.
Okay.
They don't.
And we don't go back to the hood sometimes,
we actually do it, and we got a working operating government as well.
Well, that's fine, and that's fine. But the reality of the matter is,
we definitely go back.
When you watch
homes, boy, we're homeowners, and that's another thing. That's another thing. He's saying we don't go
when
back.
you watch this back, hold on, let me go for a second. You just went. when you watch this back, you will see who started the ad hominem attacks. I actually called you out on it a couple times. Who started calling me crazy? And knowing me and knowing my position, for you to sit here and try to misrepresent me, talking about
I ain't
some,
misrepresent you.
you did, because when I made a point, and then you start, oh, you forgot Jim Crow,
Yeah, I
brother.
responded.
Yeah,
Because
you
your
start.
point was so
Yeah,
crazy. I
okay, but
responded
you
to it.
let me finish, and you begin trying to chastise me as if I'm some coon who don't know
No,
that
no, no.
our
See,
our
that's
position is unique.
projection.
Now,
See, I
whatever,
didn't do that. He projected I did that,
whatever,
and he
whatever,
responded to his own
whatever.
projection.
That's fine. But the reality of the matter is, you bowed out of this. You said you didn't want to be,
It's late.
keep going. That's fine. So
It's late.
let's not get janky at the end and start.
And we're saying the same things over and over. You
Let's.
can get
I
more
I don't think so. But
advanced faith arguments
let's
that were
not
worth it.
get janky at the end and start cutting each other off. We could have kept going 3 minute, 3 minute if it was going to be like this. But the reality of the matter is, you got cooked. All right, and go watch this back and learn, and that's it. I love you, brother. All right, go watch this back and enjoy this fry session.
Don't
I
read that
just
chat.
I don't care about the chat, brother. Like, you was also kicking people out the chat that didn't agree with you.
When?
Oh,
I ain't kick
ban
anybody
them,
out the chat.
ban
No.
them. If they get disingenuous,
Okay.
ban them.
You want to talk about somebody? Okay. Here goes the
No,
liar
I don't
again.
know. I don't know,
Okay.
but I don't
Okay.
read.
No, no. So
I don't
let me
read the
correct that because
chat.
no. There's new
I don't
people in
read
here.
the
No.
chats.
Let me correct that lie. Okay. I don't even touch the chat. Everybody got a wrench. And when new people come in, they don't have a wrench. So I tell, which I'm supposed to do, they got a wrench because I gave it one. So I'm telling them how to use the wrench. This is a responsible thing to do. I don't let people just misuse the wrench. I say, hey, time them out if they're trolling, time them out if they're being too goofy. But I said, no, distracting. And I said, but if they're disrespecting us, like any platform you go to, whether it's academics, the Breakfast Club, if they think you're disrespectful, they're going
All
to
right,
block you.
I'll concede
So
that.
I was
I'll concede that.
instructing my guys what is blockable and what's not blockable. That's all.
Okay. The reality of the matter is this. I don't read the chats. I'm sure certain people agree with me. Certain people may not. I understand. I'm in hostile water. I understand. I'm on your channel. It's
Now
like,
they are FBA and ADOS. They're definitely not agreeing to that bullshit.
yes,
We
that's
already ruled that.
fine, and that's fine. I don't do this for the chat. I do this for the other people that may be listening and
They
watching,
ain't listening to
and
you. Only
and
Tethers agree.
okay, whatever. But if I can change the minds and the hearts of just a few people, I'm fine. It's like when if you're a Muslim and you go into a church trying to debate, people, of course, the congregation gonna be hooting and hollering for Pastor Jenkins. And if that same pastor went into a mosque or a temple to debate, the people congregation would be, hooting and hollering for Minister Shabazz X. So I understand that I'm on your platform and that these people are rooting for you and they
No,
believe
they
in you
not.
and that they
If
come
no,
here with a
no,
vested
no,
interest in
no,
hoping that
no,
you're right and they like you, and I
no,
get it and I
I'm not.
understand,
No, I'm not gonna let you try to
and
spin
I'm and I'm not
my
upset
chat
with that.
against me. No, that's
I'm
some
not upset
devilish.
with that. I'm
That's
not
some
upset with
devilish
that.
shit.
I
You
just
are being a wicked devil
I
right
just
now.
implore them to rewatch this again
You are being a wicked
from a
devil.
neutral mind state, and you'll see, who got cooked because you got eviscerated and it was bad. Okay,
Again, I don't know what point
so
that you made that I made that you clearly won.
brother, I mentioned
Um,
Rwanda. You start talking about Liberia. You never went back to it. Then you never talked about the Belgium's involvement in
okay,
Rwanda.
wait.
Like,
Okay,
so,
wait.
you
So
know,
let's okay. So let's go with that. So
no,
you mentioned
let's not go
okay,
with that. Okay.
okay,
You decided to end the debate.
exactly,
You
exactly.
decided
Wait,
to end it.
but
You had
wait.
your
All
chance
right,
to
okay,
respond. You decided to
no,
end the
but you're
debate.
talking further. I'm still. We're both
Okay.
still talking, right?
All
You're
right.
talking about it.
You're
I'm
so
talking about it.
you're so
So
jinky.
you keep bringing up Belgium and things like that. So I'll tell you why I the Belgium thing was goofy because I said that the Nigerians' wealth was after the Belgians. I said that. I said, and they squandered it. It had nothing to do with white influence. They fucked themselves over. That's history.
It's disingenuous because even you start talking about Nigeria when I specifically asked you about Belgium involvement in Rwanda. You're back to
I
Nigeria.
don't.
You
Okay,
mentioned Charles Taylor. You
if you
mentioned
ask me,
Charles Taylor and try to
okay,
give
so
me
but
in a gotcha moment
if you
when the
ask
reality
me,
is he's from Liberia. He's from the whole other side of the continent.
so now
So
now
you're
watch this.
wrong.
So watch this. So Rwanda again was a black genocide. Same people killed each other off. So now let's say if I said Charles Taylor, who got locked up in Rwanda, and I kind of mix that up. How is that a cook?
Bro, you
That
berated me.
okay.
Yeah, I knew
No,
this
no.
nigga didn't know who he
Okay.
was. You
But watch
talking
this.
about fucking Rwanda, and I
But
knew you didn't know who he
but you're
was.
still talking. But
But
you're
then
still talking over.
when we
Wait,
do
wait,
the
wait.
research,
Wait. I'm trying to finish
he's
the
not
point,
even
bro.
from Rwanda.
Okay. He's not
You
from
got
Rwanda.
cooked,
So okay. So how did you? Okay. If I misspoke, how did you cook?
brother.
So
I
when
was
did you
talking
cook?
about. You mentioned Rwanda. You mentioned
Yeah.
Nigeria. You
Okay.
mentioned
Wait. So slow
Ghana.
down.
I
Slow
then
down.
talked
Slow
about cook.
down. Wait.
Hold
Slow
on.
down. Slow down.
You said how did I
Because
cook?
right. Because I'm trying. Okay. I'm trying to
That's
pigeonhole you.
what you do. Now you know you're trying to get janky
No.
at the end.
I'm trying to. What you do? You did the most talking since we ended the show. By the way.
You shouldn't have ended it then. Why would you
So
end it?
I'm trying to pigeonhole you. So if I
So that
miss,
you can go back to this
so
form of debate?
if I misspoke, how did you cook? Cooking is when you said something that made more sense than what I said.
Brother,
So I said Rwanda, they did a genocide amongst each other. So now what'd you say after that?
brother, hold on. Time out. You mentioned Rwanda. You mentioned Nigeria. And you mentioned.
Wait. Let's
Hold
stick with one.
on.
No, let's
Don't
stick.
do
No.
this. See?
No.
All right. Good night.
Okay, yeah, good night, good night. He don't want to stick with one at a time. He want to try to
Bruh,
do
you
all
just
three at
want to
one time.
get janky at
Okay,
the end.
no, dude, stick to one. They were all separate talking points.
Brother, okay.
Okay,
Let me let
yeah,
me let me let me mention. Let me cook
okay.
for just
Wait, no.
don't
Because I'm not gonna have you do the mixed small, the beef
wow.
stew, the Jamaican pot stew stuff.
All
No,
right, let's go
I
back to
meant
3 minutes. Go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
mentioned
You
these
talk.
talking
Let
points.
me set my timer.
Now I'm actually good. I'm just saying,
Okay, well
chat,
then.
chat. I have talking points. He doesn't. He freestyles.
Oh
So when
God.
I have a talking point, it's separate from the next one. So when I mentioned Rwanda, when I mentioned Nigeria, I mentioned Ghana, they were all separate ideas. So
Okay.
I didn't lump them all together. They were
Okay.
separate arguments.
Okay, fine. Now the reality of the matter is you did mention them in the same
All right,
sentence.
okay,
Okay.
okay,
All right.
okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Watch it
no, I
back.
did. I
Okay.
did.
Well, the same 3 minutes, right?
All right. Yeah,
And then
porridge. All right.
and then I mentioned
You can't come back
hold
and try to win a debate you
on.
just
Wait a
lost.
minute.
You
Wait a
try to come
minute.
back and win.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And then I mentioned when you mentioned those three, Nigeria, Ghana, and Rwanda, I then went into knowledge on each one. And I told you how the British colonized Nigeria, how the British colonized
But what
Ghana.
they got to do with the oil?
Hold on, let me finish.
Yeah,
Then I
exactly.
let me
Exactly.
finish. Let me
He said some random
let
goofy
me
shit that had
finish,
nothing to do with my point.
brother.
Cooking is addressing
This
my
is what
point.
you do.
Okay, cooking is
All
addressing my
right,
point. Like I
but you
address your
did you
point.
want to stop the 3 minutes because you was getting cooked just so you could
Okay,
start getting janky?
so won't you explain how you
Look at you.
rebutted
You
my
can't
point?
control yourself. I
Because
will if you let me talk.
no. But you
All right,
can't
three
jump.
minutes. Let's go back to three
No.
minutes.
Hey, dude, listen.
Let's go back to
I
three
would like
minutes.
for you to address the Nigeria.
We were doing so good when we
Yeah,
had the timer.
we were, but you're the
You
one getting
cut the timer
sloppy. You're
off.
trying to
You cut
compare.
the timer off so you can
No,
start cutting
okay,
me off
but we could just end
and
it.
mislead the people.
Wait, you're doing that now, my boy.
Okay. All right. Let me just get
Okay,
my last 30 seconds, then we can
no,
end
no,
it.
no,
Oh,
no.
you can have the last minute.
It-
All right.
Now,
Just let
I
me
don't
get
want. We already did that. Like
okay, but
I'm
just
satisfied with
let
my
me say
performance.
this.
You aren't
Let me say
satisfied. No, okay,
this.
I don't want you saying something that I did not say, and then
You
you trying to.
scared.
I'm
All right,
scared,
man.
but you
Yeah,
see,
this how you want to end the live.
He does
You
not
scared.
attack my points.
You're
You can't
comical.
do it
You're comical.
because the Belgians had nothing to do with
Okay,
Nigeria's
but
oil.
you're cutting me off
Okay,
because you don't want me to get to the
no,
fact
but
that you mentioned Charles Taylor,
can you
and Charles
just
Taylor
address?
had nothing to do
Okay,
with
okay,
anything.
cool. Okay, so now that's one.
And
So now,
and and,
I
and you're
need you.
also
I need
you
you to
you
now. So I
don't
need
want
you to
me
move
to
it.
you
So
do
go to
not
Nigeria. Go to
you hold
Nigeria.
on.
Show us. Go to
You
Nigeria.
do not
Show
want
us how the
me
Belgians
to show look at you.
sabotage
Look at you.
the
You're a clown.
Nigerians'
You're a
oil.
clown.
You cannot
I
do
want you
it,
to look
chat.
at
He
this back.
cannot
I
do it.
want you to look at this back.
Chat, he can't. I'm giving him.
You wanted this
Look,
chaos
you got 3 minutes.
because
You got three. The chat is even calling for it. You got 3 minutes to
you
show us
only win in
Belgium and
chaos.
Nigeria's oil. Go ahead.
You
Three
only
minutes
win
for
in
that. You want three
chaos.
minutes? Let me get your time.
You only win in
But I want you
chaos.
to address
You
Belgium
only try to
and
win in
Nigeria's
chaos.
oil. Hold
It's
on,
a
let's go.
coward tactic. It's
You
a
want 3
coward
minutes? Yes or no?
tactic. Belgium and Nigeria's oil. Yes. All right. three
Okay, three
minutes.
minutes.
All right. And silence, please. Okay.
No. Now if you jump off somewhere else, I'm gonna stop you.
Oh
Okay.
my God. Now you're trying to. You
Yes,
know what?
because you just agreed. You hear this chat? He agreed to deal with Belgium and Nigeria's oil, and then he
I'm
changed his
dealing
mind.
with Belgium and Nigeria's oil.
Okay,
I'm
three
going to
minutes.
deal with them both. But what I
One.
don't need you to do is cut me off.
Oh yeah, if you get off topic, I'm gonna cut you off.
You're gonna cut me off because you know I'm gonna cook you. Now,
So why would you be worried about it if you're gonna stay on topic?
I will, but I just
Okay.
don't want you to
Okay,
cut me
cool.
off.
Well,
Okay.
why would I
So
be
with
off if you're on
regards
topic?
to
Wait, I'm gonna start you right now.
oh
One,
God.
two. Okay.
Okay. So
You
with
wanna- when do you want your time to start? Are you gonna start your time, or are we done syncing times?
this guy quit the debate so he can
No,
Right.
you what? I'm not debating. You are. Okay, never mind. Okay, screw 3 minutes.
he can reign
Okay, all right,
chaos.
that's it. Ain't no 3 minutes. I try to give him 3 minutes, and the guy didn't want 3 minutes.
You know what you're trying to do. I know what you're trying to do.
Dude,
You're trying to.
So now I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. 2 minutes, Nigeria.
I'll do it, but you're
and
trying to
Belgium.
get me so upset
Okay,
that we end the live and then you talk
I'm
shit
quiet.
about me for 20 minutes.
I'm quiet. I'm quiet. 2 minutes now. Nigeria and oil. I'm in
Clown.
Belgium. You want 2
Clown.
minutes? Yes or no?
Okay. I do if you would hush.
Okay. On your mark, get set, go.
Okay. So the reality of the matter is Belgium had a key part in Rwanda, the quintessential part in the genocide and civil war
In Nigeria?
in
You're talking about
Rwanda.
Nigeria, right? You're talking about Nigeria, right?
I thought you wanted me to just talk about Belgium in itself.
No, I said. Okay, so what was your response when I said
All right,
Nigeria?
you know what? Go ahead and talk shit about me for the next 20 minutes.
Okay.
I don't like arguing like this.
I'm asking
Good
you.
night,
what was
my
your
brother.
response?
I
Okay,
love
see?
you. Good night.
Exactly. You took an
My
L.
cousin. Good night.
What was your response to Nigeria?
Brother, you ended the debate to debate.
No, I'm
in
actually good.
chaos.
You kept debating. I'm actually good.
We were ending it. We were ending it. All right, I'm not gonna do this.
You kept arguing.
Chat, I love you. Thank you for listening to me. I appreciate it.
Simply asking him what was his response to my Nigeria oil statement.
He will go to talk shit about me for the next 10 minutes.
I already know I won, so I ain't got
that.
Losers.
Okay,
that's what losers do.
That's how you want to end the debate, by me hanging up and then him talking shit and try to, reign chaos. And when we had a perfect debate format, it was going so well.
Dude,
why'd you end it? You ended it so that we can start cutting each other off, and then eventually you get cut off so much that you mute me. Like, I know your debate tactic.
You're right now going crazy. You're talking and talking and talking.
All right.
I'm asking